Greetings and welcome to Winning 2024 Tuesday edition. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're all doing and living well. Thank you to all of the reoccurring memberships that are out there here on YouTube, and Shelly and Wolfram also over on Rumble. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel on a monthly basis, and make sure you use your prepaid super chats because that's what they're there for. All right. Well, tonight what we're gonna do is this should be a fairly compact show. We're just gonna go over this. First, we're gonna take a look at the SWAT interview. It's really short, just some highlights from that. Basically, a local SWAT team spoke out for the first time about the Trump assassination. It was a decent interview, good questions. So we're gonna do that, and we're going to then take a look at this new footage. It's on the ground footage. It gives you a really different perspective, fills in some missing gaps and about the fence line and other people that were back around that area. Also what it was like for those on the ground right before the event happened, what they could actually see. Good stuff. If you haven't seen it yet, we'll go through that. And then we will head on into debunking some of the griftier stuff that's out there. I got a couple pieces on that, and then we'll wrap it up by taking a look at the Senate hearing today with highlights from the Senate hearing, some of the more notable moments as we find them. I also want to just say up front, Thursday's show will be about more about the election and Kamala Harris and some of the tactics they're pulling out. As well as some of the stuff about Act Blue and some of the different money laundering grifts they have going on for the Democratic Party, how that can affect them. That's what they're gonna have. I think I'll even have some more information about that by Thursday. And then tomorrow night, Unveiling Reality, I'm going to we're going to look at this video that's getting a lot of traction right now. It's called I Worked for Mr. Beast. It's about the Mr. Beast. It's really interesting. It's so interesting. I want to show it to you guys because it's more about grifting and psychology. And so that's why I wanted to put it on Unveiling Reality, Unveiling, top grifters. I don't know. It'll be something like that. But the guy used to work for Mr. Beast, and he did this really long video going into details about some things that you probably never knew about or maybe assumed. He's kind of shedding some light on it. So I feel like it's a good watch, and it should spawn some good conversation. And it just goes to show you, always watch out for this grifters, right? But hey, what's going on out there, crowd? Wolfram, thank you for dropping those links. Remember, always listen to the wolf. Always listen to the wolf. He knows what he's talking about because he wipes his paws. He lives in a house, and that's how you know he's here. There's Shelly. Shelly says hi to Wolf as well. Wolfram. There is T-Rex Trucking and more. Good evening from the Ohio River Valley. Hello, Surf. How you doing? Make sure you subscribe to Shelly. She's moving these days, but she will. She's packing and doing things, but she will be back on a regular schedule eventually. Make sure you subscribe to her here on Rumble. On Rumble and X and on YouTube. Yeah, she's on all three platforms like me too. All right. And that's where we're broadcasting tonight, on X, Rumble, and on YouTube. And the great battle rages on between X and Rumble, our channels there, to try to get to 500 first. Now, little update here. Rumble is up to 464, which is awesome. So if you're on a Rumble side, make sure you help out in that battle. So your support for Rumble, make sure you follow and thumbs up. That's how you get it done. All right. But on X was up to like 477, but then X started doing some, like, I guess, housekeeping. And like literally I was watching for the last day, my account go from like up 10, down 10, up 10, down 10. It was weird. Then we go up 2, down 2, up 2, down 2. So I waited for it to settle down. We are at 464. So ladies and gentlemen, dead even tie. Thanks to Elon Musk getting involved there. Dead even tie. So now is a chance. The race to 500 is on between X and Rumble. Be part of fun. All right. Who else is here? Okay, cool. Oh, hey, Memento, what's up? There you are. There you are. See you right there. And oh yeah, we got to do something here. We got to do something. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? It's always good when we get to play this one.
It's cold. A big long Vietnam. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. When I find it, I don't anything.
All right. Oh, so I forgot to put it up. There you go. New member. Thank you, Merce Turf, for becoming a member of our YouTube family, the Winner Circle. Welcome to the Winner Circle, Merce Turf. You've always been there, but now you're official. All right. Thank you so much. Awesome to have you. Joining the ranks there. I need to claim one of the trees in the yard. Oh, since I'm paying rent, or yeah, you can help yourself. Pick whichever one you want there, Wolf. Whichever one you want is all yours. It's all yours. All right, we're off and rolling, guys. What else do I gotta say here? Oh yeah, listen to that. That's good. That's good advice. Follow at U0026 repost. Cool. What does that do? I don't even know what that does. But that sounds good to me. All right, hey, cool gamer. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Welcome. All right. First up on the agenda for this evening is the SWAT team speaks out for the first time on the Trump assassination attempt. Coming to us from ABC News. This is where they did it. So this is what we're covering. And I think they actually did a really good job on this. They didn't hold back on the questions. So you guys watch and let me know what you think.
Now to an ABC News exclusive on the assassination attempt on former President Trump. For the first time, we're hearing from members of the Pennsylvania SWAT team that took up positions to defend the former president. ABC News senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky has the latest.
I remember standing in the parking lot and talking to one of the guys, and we just became part of history. Not in a good way.
The SWAT team from Beaver County, Pennsylvania knew something about the scrawny young man seemed off. He can be seen in this video obtained by ABC affiliate WTAE skulking around former President Trump's rally. Text messages between local snipers show they noticed Thomas Matthew Crooks at 4:26 p.m., nearly 2 hours before the attempted assassination that would injure Trump, kill a man, and severely hurt 2 others. "You see me go out with my rifle," one of the snipers texted, "so he knows you guys are up there." By 5:14 p.m., they grew suspicious.
He was looking up and down the building, and
They kind of cut that off a little bit. They saw him go out because he was on a shift change. Now, it's weird to have a shift change in the middle of an event. That is weird.
just wandering around, it just seemed out of place.
Yes.
Greg Nichols snapped these photos of the shooter.
We had a text group between the local snipers that were on scene. I had sent those pictures out to that group and advised them of what I noticed and what I'd seen.
What do you think is transpiring once you send in what you've sent in?
I assumed that there would be somebody coming out to, speak with this individual or, find out what's going on.
So how do you know if Greg's concerns about crooks are being relayed properly?
We don't. We have to assume that when he put that information out to command, that command took that information and did something with it. We don't know if they did.
None of the concerns appears to have reached
This
members
is the first thing I said was communication breakdown. That was like the very first assessment I made at the whole thing.
of Trump's Secret Service detail. The Washington Post reports they've complained they were never made aware of the warnings. In their first public comments about the assassination attempt, members of the Beaver County SWAT team described to ABC News what they consider to be failures of planning and communication that would prove catastrophic.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the.
And I know that's hard there's some people out there that's really hard to comprehend that those two things can cause something like this to happen. But literally, those are the two things that will probably most likely cause something to happen if they're not right. You pick a bad place, bad time, wrong place, wrong time, that one, right? And the other is communication breakdown. You can't even have a conversation if you can't communicate correctly. right? 99% of arguments is come from a communication breakdown, or some kind of high percentage like that. Most arguments come from communication breakdown. So communication is key.
Secret Service snipers. Whenever we were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened.
Yeah, so evidently there was a meeting the day before. The Secret Service didn't meet him. That was the meeting that day. It was in the Grassley report, which I don't have now. I had it up for a couple of days and then I had to reboot and it went away. Actually, I can pull that up. Just let them talk. I'll pull it up and confirm it. But yeah, that was one of them. They didn't show up to the meeting. So if you don't show up to your meetings where you're supposed to be, to have to set the communication, to answer questions, to answer concerns, then you're already off on the wrong foot.
So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened. And we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday?
No, not until after the shooting, I believe. Yeah.
And by
Okay, so I got this right here. I'll read it after we're done.
then?
It was too late.
The Secret Service declined to respond directly, but told ABC News the agency is committed to better understanding what happened and is offering complete cooperation with ongoing investigations.
The suspect is directly above us.
Members of the Beaver County SWAT team rushed to the shooter's rooftop,
There's a ladder right here.
as seen in footage from Rich Gianvito's helmet camera.
Thanks, brother. Yep.
So we had access through that ladder, got up onto the roof.
And as you're scrambling onto that roof, you don't know for sure whether he's dead or alive, or whether you'll encounter fire.
At that point, no.
So what are you prepared? Are you prepared for a firefight at that point?
Well, we're prepared for anything at that point, because at this time we're unsure.
Give me a solid perimeter. Get guys prepped to clear the building.
He encountered the shooter's bloodied body some 400 feet from the stage. The team believes it did everything it could have to thwart the attack, but accepts its share of failure.
I think we all failed that day.
How so?
Life is lost.
Yeah. People died. And if there's anything that we could have done to stop that, we should have done.
Incredible reporting. ABC News senior investigative correspondent Eric Katursky joins me now for more on this. That is tremendous to hear
what's up?
that team tried to go up the chain of command but heard nothing. What stood out to you, Aaron, when you visited the SWAT team headquarters?
I think hearing that the lack of communication almost doomed the event from the start. But I'm also struck by what they're doing now. They're studying satellite imagery that they have pasted all over the wall. They have maps up. They even made their own crude replica of the site with everyone's position using the little army men from back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're intent on studying what went wrong here. Not only do they feel bad about it, and they say they have to live with their failure, which they accept their fair share, but they do say, look, Trump says he's coming back, so they want to be ready.
Right, and as one of those team members said, I mean, they lost a life that day. I mean, so many people were in danger. And as you just mentioned, Trump says he plans to hold another rally in Western Pennsylvania soon. What are some of the changes that are being made when it comes to communication and coordination between Secret Service and law enforcement?
You have to imagine that the Secret Service is going to make sure there's an open line of communication with local SWAT teams that are always part of a protective detail. The Secret Service relies on local law enforcement partners for all of its events. And look, the Secret Service guards, 7,500 events a year? Most of the time they go off without a hitch. But here, there was a failure, so they do want to learn. They want to be able to say that they can make some changes that need to be made, and that probably includes being in better touch with their local partners.
So many lessons learned. Thank you so much. Again, incredible reporting.
Thanks.
Senior investigative correspondent Eric Katursky, thank you.
All right. So just to update on that, July 13th, 9 a.m. Let's see. I'll put this on screen. Yeah, do that. Okay. And blow it up. Might be a little small, but I'll read it. Okay, so these are the days leading up that are important in the oversight here. But on July 13th, 9 a.m., Butler County ESU, Emergency Services Unit, you probably heard this a lot. That's what it means. Hosting a briefing for local law enforcement ahead of Trump event. The Secret Service was absent from the briefing. Bill 1 right there. You got to show up to your meetings. So yeah, by 9 a.m. they had already, well, the venue selection was not good. They didn't heed warnings from local politicians that it probably was not the best place to have an event. The venue selection should have been better. Should have been more closely analyzed. And 9 a.m. no show, Secret Service no shows. So we got a couple different things right there off the bat. We'll get more into the timelines. People are going, well, it's an hour now. It's an hour, now it's 90 minutes. We're going to see some of the things here. I guess we already seen the communication breakdown that led to people assuming that other people were doing their job when they maybe didn't have the information yet, or that line of communication was not good. So, all right. First thing is first, before we move into the next portion here, the new footage, which is going to give you an idea of what the boots on the ground we're dealing with, as well as some other characters that are new to the plot here. We'll talk about on the private property there, the ARG building. So, the Secret Service people, we got the snipers, we got the people on stage that are in the suits that are ready to react to something, but everybody, it seems like everybody else that was involved was local law enforcement, was outside of the Secret Service. So a lot of the people that were doing the work besides the sniper work from the stage and then being on the stage around the president seemed to be put in the hands of local law enforcement. At least that's what I'm seeing right now. Okay, so let's do this. All right, T-Rex Trucking and More. Thank you for the $10 super chat. He has a special request, folks. And if you haven't heard this, you're probably going to enjoy it. He says, can I hear 18-wheeling across America intro pretty please? I guess he's having a bad day and needs cheering up. So we're going to cheer him up with the 18-wheeling. This is a show that T-Rex and I used to do together when he was going cross country. It was a great show. It should have won awards. It was that good. But we haven't done one in a very, very, very long time. So should we get the chance in the future, we'll bring it back. But it was a great show. I was like the road manager, and I would tell you where you were going and what you're passing by and whatnot. And we'd ask T-Rex questions about trucking and all that stuff. But anyways, if you super chat and you ask, I'll probably do it for you. And here we go.
Of all, I don't pay property tax. Rolling down to Dallas, my wheels provide my palace. Off to New Orleans or who knows where. Places new and ladies too. I'm BJ McKay and this is my best friend Dan.
And there you have it, man. That brings back some memories. Sure wish you hadn't ate that monkey, T-Rex. He looked like he might have made a really great companion there on the road. But I get it, you get hungry, all right, so there you have it. I think if we do bring it back, I gotta redo that intro a little bit. It's a little bit better. That the footage is so hard to because it's such an old show. It's so hard to get it to work right. But yeah, I'm gonna have to update it a little bit. Anyways, off and rolling. Here we go. We're gonna check out this footage here. I'm gonna give you this view, and we're just gonna walk through this now. We got some analysis going on by the gentleman who put this out earlier. I do have the raw footage of this, but comparing the two, like he already took the music out of it, so I don't have to mess with it. And that way you could have two perspectives on it too. So we'll just watch his we'll watch his assessment of it on it, and I'll assess it with him. But this is a little bit better way to watch it, I think. So we're gonna do it this way. All right, let's get started. So we're gonna this footage all takes place around the AGR building. It's a glass building. I guess they make glass or do something with glass. But anyways, so this footage is all there. It's leading up to the shooting and then through the shooting and right after it. So you're gonna and then this guy that put this out, he had his phone confiscated that day, and that's why it's just coming out now, because he just got his phone back. So they took his phone from him that day, and just to make sure he wasn't in on it. And I think that's where you hear some of the footage, and some of the footage they've been talking about. They got these good people detained. These are people that that were, they may have the footage they want, right? So that's why they were detained. So people who thinking, oh, that's a guy over there by the tower. No, they were on the other side of the building, detained because they had footage that the FBI or somebody wanted, right? And that's what it was. Again, patience. Patience is the real virtue, especially in these situations. And we'll get into that a little bit later on as well. All right. Hey, what's up, Outpost? How you doing? See you there. Okay, so let's get going.
Continuing on in our analysis of the Donald Trump shooting.
Oh, by the way, this is really shaky footage. So it is what it is. I think this guy was either really nervous or just, had too much caffeine.
Up in Butler, Pennsylvania, we have some real unbelievably incredible news to show you.
So someone should take that and I guess maybe run it through AI and let them stabilize it. There's some AI stabilizers that could probably fix that these days.
Tonight, especially with new text messages from the cops that prove that they actually were aware of the shooter over 90 minutes before the shooting actually occurred, where they had previously told us only an hour. So we have an exclusive.
I mean, one group told you an hour, one group said longer, right? Because the one group didn't get the message, I guess, until a half an hour later. Again, process and communication breakdown, incompetence and poor performances that are across the board in this
interview to show you with all of the SWAT team on ABC that appeared this morning.
Cops surrounding this whole entire.
And we also have new video to show.
So you can see what they're looking around here. And by the way, I'm not one of these people that are always about pointing to incompetence and coincidence, right? I keep my mind open about all of it. But when it is what it is, it is what it is.
Show you from the scene that was taken by another witness.
The horse was on it. That horse was in on it. I know it.
Showing the cops engaging the shooter before the shooting actually occurred. And who were really the first cops to get up to the roof? And how did they get up there? Now, don't forget, on the next video,
look at that. Watch this.
I'm going to be showing you some of that drone footage that was shot around the building showing.
Look at that. How easy is it to get on the roof there?
Different areas where maybe the shooter could have gotten up, because somebody flew a drone in there just the other day and got this video for us. All right, so this is a major paradigm shift right here, because this changes the timeline significantly. So this is a text message from one of the officers upstairs in that building whose shift had ended and he was getting in his car and leaving in the parking lot. We thought that the shooter was first noticed at 5:15, but it looks like the cops spotted him up here. You can see at 4:26 p.m. So this is at least 90 minutes or more before the shooting. And he says here, someone followed our lead and snuck in and parked by our cars, just so you know. And he says, I'm just letting you know because you see me go out with my rifle and put it in my car, so he knows you guys are up there. He's sitting to the direct right on a picnic table about 50 yards from the exit. Ooh, man, do you realize what the implications of this are? Because,
well, I mean, kind of. We're going to see in a minute that he wasn't the only one back in the, I mean, there was a lot of people back and around that building.
Previously, the cops had told us that they had just found out about him only an hour before the shooting. But now, this changes the timeline because now we're talking 90 minutes or so before the shooting is when they first noticed him. So this is a screenshot off the officer's phone who sent out that first group message at 5:38 after they actually got a picture of this guy sitting on the wall down below on the ground floor, like right below the window where they were stationed at on that 2-story building. And so at 5:38, he sent the message. And then at 5:40, somebody said to him, call it into command and have a uniform check it out. Okay, so if we're looking at the back side of the AGR complex back over here, the cops were all parked here. They were stationed in this building, and they would probably come out the door right here on the 1-story section. Okay, so what the officer was talking about is they probably came out this door right here, door number 8, building 3, and he looked over and saw the guy sitting here. Now, it could have been at this table. I don't know if this is 50 yards away. He said that he saw the shooter sitting there by this picnic table.
I think it's the back
so he was
table.
alerting the guys at
That's
this
what I
time. So
believe, right?
this shows the new timestamp of when he was first discovered to be 4:26 p.m. Now, I want to show you this awesome exclusive video that ABC put out this morning.
Okay, I'm going to
I'll
skip
put
this
that link
because we
down
already
below for you
saw
so you
it.
can watch the entire. Now, this video I'm about to show you from Dave Stewart. He was another witness that was there. This is a brand new video that we haven't seen before, but it's the best video so far because it actually shows all of the cops engaging with the shooter, trying to get him cornered in, trying to figure out where he is, and they're trying to look for him. So check this out. Okay, so Dave's video starts off right here. There's this guy in the blue jeans here, and I don't know if that's a gray shirt. Yeah.
See this guy right here? All right, so here's another point of failure right here. This guy right here is the guy that evidently he somehow he got put in charge of clearing people off the fence. Like, so he's out there going, telling everybody it's private property, get off, it's private property. Again, if they just fenced in the sides a little bit better, and stationed cops there, you know, this probably could have been avoided as well. But now you have a civilian involved, you know. I guess he worked for AGR or something, and he's out there playing, you know, he's out there playing security officer. So, you know, so that's going to get a mixed bag of reactions from people depending on their attitudes.
He's kicking people off the property. This is an hour or so before the shooting. So I don't know if he's a security guard or an employee there, but he's basically going around telling all of these people that they are trespassing and they need to get off of the property. So this right here is the AGR Glass Company's property. And so they could be on the other.
See that? These are all people that weren't checked in.
Side of the fence, but not on this side. So he's making all of these people leave at this point. So this is 5:02. This is about 12 minutes before.
I'm guessing, right? Because there's people that are inside the gate and people are outside the gate who just came down around here. So I'm guessing that they weren't checked in. I'm not 100%, but it seems like that they have kind of decided they don't want to go into the event, so they're watching from the perimeter.
The cops spot the shooter for the first time over here.
They bring their own chair
off to the right, but you can't see it. So here we are again.
See? Look, there's a bunch of people around that gate. I mean, that fence. A fence. It's not a gate, it's a fence.
5:10 on the other side.
There it is right there. You see, he didn't have the best attitude either. I heard it in the live footage. He's like, get out, this is private property. You can't be back here. He had that attitude, he had that, you know, oh, I'm finally in charge or something. I can start bossing people around like I've already seen. See, I'm wondering if the narrow perimeter has something to do with that private property. That's why I said it straight up. I was like, those buildings are private property. Yet the police were in their stations. So they had to have some kind of agreement. AGR maybe didn't want them on there. Well, maybe on their property. Well, they didn't want anybody else on there, but if the cops are already in the building, then they've kind of taken charge of that property for the moment, right? If so, we have to be in here. They said, okay, here's your room. Here's whatever you want. Here's access to the building. We'll open the doors up. You know, so they've already gone that far, right? So I don't understand why they didn't have police officers walking this area, why this guy was left in charge. you know, and somebody who shouldn't have been out there barking commands at people was left to be, you know, that guy.
And the guy is talking to all of these people, telling them they have to leave. And
he
had to remove.
Got that. He's got that. You can tell by his body language and the way people are dealing with him. See, they're like, "Who are you, dude?" You know, or whatever. And he's got that barking. He's barking with his hands, and you know, people are kind of like, you know, got their hands up, like, "Come on, chill out." That's kind of the way that guy was.
The audio at this point, and I've had this happen to me before too. Like when I've been at Home Depot,
like he's like,
sometimes
"I can't
songs playing in the background.
Will see him throwing his hands around, acting like a tough guy.
Trigger YouTube's copyright.
Oh yeah,
right algorithm, and it demonetizes your video. It's a real pain in the butt when that happens. So I feel for him.
And then now the sheriff comes over. I guess the sheriff's coming to help. I don't know.
And here, so there's a cop arriving on the other side of the fence.
These people aren't going anywhere.
Show is there's the barn where
like, whatever, dude.
Secret Service agents
not getting
going to be set up with as snipers. And I don't know why his video is just so unbelievably shaky. I'm gonna have to do a training session for all of you guys to show you the proper way to shoot video so that you don't get this. But cop's getting out of the car, and I guess he's going to be talking to that guy right there. There's the gray shirt guy who has something to do with the property here, and asking everybody to leave.
See, once the authorities,
if you look closely right here, the Secret Service snipers are setting up over here.
Oh, there you go.
See if they show them. And it's bouncing around a lot, but you can sort of see them. See, there's one guy here, and the other one's over here.
All right.
So they're setting up over there. This is an hour before. Okay, so I didn't show you all that, and now he fast forwards to 6:10 p.m. So this, I believe, is incorrect. His timestamp here that he's at right here that he says is 6:10 until the time that the shots ring out is going to be 2 more minutes. So I'm thinking this is really around either 6:08 or provided that it was continuous recording. So right here, you can already see one cop here walking. You can see people over here that appear to be filming or engaged in this direction when Trump is actually already talking at this point. Remember, Trump took the stage at like 6:02 or 6:03, and it's now 6:08 or 6:09. Okay. So there's the cop walking there. And you can see now there's a trooper here with his gun drawn. So there's actually a number of cops over here right now looking for this guy actively. This right here is an unmarked vehicle cop that just arrived up on the scene. So you're getting a lot of cops that are starting to pour in right now.
A little bit of a jump in time.
And plus, I believe this one was already parked there. These here look like police cars as well.
That might have been why the sheriff pulled up at that point. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna slow it down here a little bit just because this stuff gets really quick. All right. So you see, even from the ground level right there, you don't see him.
So far, I have 3 cops visible on this side. Something going on in this building. We know there was cops on the left side of the building before. Now, as you
see, I kept stopping it over and over again in this area. He's got to be somewhere around here, right? He's like somewhere over here, judging from the
look here.
The footage
in the next few seconds, you're going to see that a trooper get up on top of the picnic table there in order to get a view.
Right.
Yeah, on the left that are watching the cops, because you're starting to see cops arriving from everywhere. There's another cop way in the background.
They're looking for him. I don't know that they know that he's on the roof at this point. I don't know.
Building.
Or maybe this is the part where they're looking for him and someone is checking the roof from the other side. We just don't really see it.
See, there's another cop right here that's arrived. So you're starting to see them descending like crazy into the area now.
And it's not easy because we have millions and millions of people dangerous people, criminals.
And they can't see anything. They're backing up. They're trying to find him. So he hasn't stuck his head up over the roof. So now all of these people are running over there to get a view. And let me pause it right there. There's the trooper on top of the picnic table trying to get a view. And he likely can't even see anything because the sniper has not stuck his head up over the ridge of the roof yet. So you got more people coming over here. And let me see. Now you get this lady on the horse that wants to come over and get a look. And she's lucky because the shots are going to ring out in just a...
So yeah, the guy that was trying to get people off the property didn't do a good job. I mean, there's a lady with a horse riding by.
A few seconds, and they probably whizzed right over her head.
Look, that guy didn't do a good job at all clearing people out away from the fence.
Look at the arrow at the bottom. See the big red arrow.
See, so this crowd of people here, these are the ones that you saw in all of the other videos behind the two trees that were looking this way. Some of these people are starting to sense that something's going on, and more of them are starting to walk over this way towards the camera to the right here.
They can't see him. See?
And then you got this couple over here. The cops are going to yell at them to get out of there. And you got this lady here. I would like to see her cell phone and what she got, what kind of video she might have gotten, and what kind of video this guy got, and whether this lady on the horse, whether she got any kind of video. Because they're...
Yep. And speaking of which, T-Rex, thank you for the $5 super chat. I genuinely believe it was all masterminded by the horse. Yes, the horse was definitely involved. It's a deep state horse. You can tell by the way its tail is right there. It's undercover. It's undercover.
Both facing directly at where the shooter would be on the roof. And then over here, you got this other crowd of people that are kind of all starting to turn their heads and wondering what's going on now.
Nobody at the water tower.
So right here, this cop is, I think he was yelling at her to get out of here, and she's going to turn around and hightail it to the right. Yeah, she's running now.
Get your ass out of here. What are you doing?
You're going to hear he's got a gun any second now.
Make yourself small, bro. I don't know what's going on.
So the crowd's starting to feel it. Okay, get out of the way. Almost thought I saw him right there, but I don't know. He's got a gun. They just said it right there. He just said it. At this point,
right there,
people are like, where? And I still don't. You still can't really tell. I mean, we're trying to stand here. Okay, there goes the first. 2, 3. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last one was him. Getting put down. It's really hard to tell. Stop. Really hard to tell.
He's just
this
so
level
bouncing it. So here's two of the cops here, and I don't even think they can see him from their vantage point. They may be too far away and too low. So most of the videos just...
I mean, I'm thinking this ridge line right here, he's behind this.
Just bouncing. There's really not much you can get out of this part of it.
Yeah.
But you can't see anything up on the roof. So by this point, they're probably just now lifting Trump off of the stage. And you're going to start to see some undercover guys.
There's still people just wandering around over here.
Guys in shorts with guns coming around the corner of the building off to the left.
Get down, guys. Get down. Yeah, just get down. Get behind this tree with me. Get behind this tree. Get behind this tree, guys. No. I'm just safe back here. Here.
That dude off.
Did they pick
Okay, listen to this part.
him off?
Watch all big poop of hair go up your head.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Did you hear what he said? I saw a big poop of hair go up. Oh, I wish I could have been there to see that one.
Big poop of hair.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're not gonna see anything here. I don't think he rewinds it.
Kill confirmed, he said.
He said kill confirmed.
He said kill confirmed.
The cop just told these guys that the guy has been killed. And so here comes this is an undercover cop with shorts, and I think he's wearing a helmet. And he's got a gun, and he's walking by. He's checking all of the windows as he walks by. There's a second one behind him. So now you have two undercover cops on this side. So there was nobody shooting from inside this part of the building because the windows would have been cracked. And they're walking around the side of the building. And by this time, you're going to start seeing cops everywhere. So there was actually a good handful of cops trying to engage this guy a couple of minutes before the shooting. So let me take a look here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at least that I can count in this blurry screen here. And by the way, this is a point where I think a lot of the conspiracy liars are going to come out and try to say something here to create more stink. So check this out. So you see this right here? They're going to say there's somebody up on the roof. There was a second gunman, or this is somebody else. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the American flag. You can see the red and white stripes, and it was on a flagpole on the other side of the building, sticking up over the roof. Okay, that is not a human being.
What's up?
I believe that this is Officer Greg Nickel, as shown on ABC, who originally took that famous picture now of the shooter sitting there on the wall at about 5:15 p.m. or so, about an hour before the shooting. So now we can get a clear shot. We know there's 2 cops off to the left, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another one over here, 11. And here you can see they're setting up that makeshift pallet to put on top of that plastic shed because they don't have any ladders yet. And this might be what we saw like on that very first video I showed you guys, where they threw a telescopic ladder over the fence and were running over there.
And a steel chair
towards the scene.
in case there are any heels over there. See, there's a steel chair. He's running with a steel chair.
He was on the roof
there in case the gunman tries to come.
I'm just curious if we could ever see the bike and the backpack and this. Has anybody seen a picture of the bike and the backpack yet? I haven't seen a picture.
Come back over this way. So as we saw a minute ago, they were lifting that pallet up there, and you got one officer on there, a sniper officer, it looks like, and he is likely the very first officer to get up to the roof at this point. So as you take a look here and zoom in, you can see many people had theorized that the shooter had put that pallet there and climbed up on top of that shed there to get up on top of the roof. But you can clearly see here the police are the ones that put that pallet there because they didn't have a ladder and they were waiting for ladders to arrive. See that? So if you zoom back here and check out the whole scene, there's quite a few police officers that were in this area. If they had just sooner maybe thought about getting up to the roof, but it seemed like they had to wait for ladders to arrive, as I showed on my previous video last week, where we saw the police body cam videos from the officers. When they first arrived on the scene here, they were asking the cops inside, where's the ladders?
Yeah, he's up there too. So the ladders are en route. So the operator suffered lacerations to the hand from climbing up on the
All right, so that was the one they were talking about on the roof. Someone hurt their hand, the lacerations from climbing out on the roof. Wear your gloves. Wear your gloves, people.
You might need minor stitching. Okay.
So here you can see they're climbing that ladder that they just tossed over the fence because there were no ladders in this area, contrary to many conspiracy theories that were spreading lies around about it. There was no ladders here. That's why they had to bring this one just to get up there, and it barely got the job done. And if you look at this scene that I just showed you, you can see that they temporarily placed the pallet back on top of that little plastic shed. So you see this cop backing up over here in the parking lot with his rifle. He's still trying to see.
I mean, I don't know why they didn't run around and just
up there at this point in time. So by this time now, 3 minutes have elapsed since the shooting ended.
Probably not used to this kind of stuff.
And now you got cops are starting to arrive from on the rally side of the field. And there's that undercover guy there with the shorts on with the gun. So it's getting harder to tell exactly how many cops there are and where they are. I think there's a trooper back over here to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the ladder, 10, 11, 12, 13. And there might be a couple more off to the left. So you're getting more officers that are arriving now. Now they're coming out and
one seriously injured. I just heard on the cops radio.
Oh yeah, so you have a lot more cops off here to the left now. Yeah, you got 2, 4, 5 more police officers here to add to the group that we saw over here. So we're probably well over 15 law enforcement people in this area now. And here's the first Secret Service guy coming up here in his suit. And I'll show you that. So you have a lot more police officers running over
Use
from
the
the other
chair
side. I think they had to crash their own fence on the other end of the secured section by the rally way back
They just
over
don't seem to know
here.
the building
Remember
very
I showed
well.
you they had to crash it with the cop car? Because you really can't climb over these fences because there's no bar on the top. You're you know, you're on a fool's errand trying to climb a fence like this. And especially like these guys with their gear, they can't even get through. And you got this couple here is trying to help them open the fence, that gate there. So the cop is
here. Pal, are you law enforcement? You are?
Cop is yelling, if you're not law enforcement, get out of here.
Uh-oh, here comes the feds.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Get your name? Yeah, for sure. I got you, bro.
Was just wanting to.
Since I thought that was Agent Smith was going to take my phone, I stopped recording and locked my screen. He only wanted a picture of my ID, and I ran towards the building. I recorded 6 more minutes of footage until my phone was snatched by Pennsylvania State Trooper, and I was arrested and handcuffed. Wow. Yeah, well,
To
detained,
get his
right?
ID.
Detained.
So he thought he wanted to. He thought the agent wanted to take his phone, so he locked his screen. But the Secret Service agent only wanted a picture of his ID, and then the agent ran towards the building. And he did 6 more minutes of footage, which I don't know where that is, but as you can see here, his phone was snatched by a state trooper, and he was arrested and handcuffed. And I thought I saw somewhere else he said the FBI took his phone and he got it back on the 19th.
They probably
I
outnumbered
forget where
Secret
I
Service,
saw it, but
right?
I thought he had mentioned it somewhere. They got it back on the 19th. So anyway, he posted this video yesterday. So again, just like all of the other great videos I find here, I will post a link to it in the video description below for you. Make sure you go check it out. Hey, support him too, right? Give him some likes. Let him make a few bucks off of this. I mean, after all, this video that he shot here gave us much more valuable information than anything we got from the FBI and the Secret Service testimony at Congress combined. Now, don't forget on the next video,
I mean,
and
and answer some questions.
I'm going to be showing you some of that drone footage that was shot around the building, showing different areas where maybe the shooter could have gotten up because somebody flew a drone in there just the other day.
I mean, there's the water tower up there in the background. I mean, I think he could have maneuvered around this area and been undetected because the cops didn't even go back here when they're trying to get on the roof. This would be the easy way. You know? Just to give you a little bit of let's see.
Got this video for us.
All right, thanks. Let me just minimize this for a second. All right, so okay, now just to give you a quick, just a few seconds of what I was talking about with the dude trying to play security officer, like what he sounded like. This is where I heard this for the first time. So let's just listen real quick. Let me see. Volume up. Here you go.
This is no trespassing. Off. Oh, sorry. We didn't.
See, this is no trespassing. Off. That kind of attitude ain't gonna get you anywhere with people, man. You got to be, especially when you're trying to make them move or expend any kind of energy. You gotta be like, man, I'm so sorry. We should have had this fenced off, but really, everybody has to move out of the area. It's private property. They don't want anybody back here. I probably would have thrown in. It's a security risk. You sure don't want to mess with the Secret Service. You guys probably want to get out of here before they come running through here or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. I would have found a more political way to deal with this situation. Diplomatic. Listen, watch him. He's having his big day of authoritarianism. You can just hear this guy. He's filming the guy because
This guy's kicking everybody out. He's raging.
He's raging, right? Hey, what does he think? I mean, I want to know who this rageaholic is and why he got the call to go back there and do this.
This guy's raging.
Maybe this is the guy. This is the guy we're looking for right here. This is the guy everybody's looking for. He's got a powered boner. Yeah. This is the guy everybody's looking for. See, he's clearing everybody out so it can go down. This is the dude. This is the handler. We found him, guys. Everybody, let's go spread outrageous. Let's go spread an outrageous rumor with nothing to back it up. All right, we'll pin it on this guy. And you know, yeah, this is what he was the mastermind. It was him, the horse, and the guy on the roof. Yeah. Look at him. Here he is again. Oh wait, hold on. Audio muted for copyright. Okay, so you already muted it at this point. All right, gotcha. Okay, we don't need to watch any more of this. We've already seen it. All right, let's take some comments here. Let me see. Slam free poetry. No red stuff on Trump's hand. WWF. What does that mean? No red stuff on Trump's hand. He had blood all over his hands, man. Talk about oh my goodness. The blanks were fired when Trump Q says, yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. Man, I don't know who you've been watching, but we've been studying this thing since the beginning. And yeah, he was definitely shot. There were real bullets, there's real people involved. And man, I tell you what, you know, I've been to that place, man. You know, you can go to that place where you think nothing's real anymore, but that's when the establishment really has you, right? They're drugging you down to the abyss and left you there for nothing. I mean, you're discredited at that point, and you know, no one's going to listen to anything you have to say if you aren't based in reality. What we do here is we stay based in reality. So, they applied makeup to him. Get the hell out of here, man. You got to be kidding me. You don't believe that for real. You're just trolling. You got to be trolling. You total hoax. Yeah, where's your proof? Where's your proof? Oh, wait, you saw it with your own 2 eyes? Is that right? Photoshop bullets. Oh, wow. Yeah, you got it all figured out, man. Where's your proof? I'll look at your proof. Where's it at? Right? Okay. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Slam Free Pro-T, for the comedy. Thank you for the comedy, my man. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, right. I know it's funny how some people would think that, though. I mean, that's hilarious. Yeah, they applied it. Yeah, I told you the horse was in on it. Think about it. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, you've changed my mind with this four sentences. I've watched it. Yeah. I've watched it. Yeah. They're good at that stuff now. You know, after they faked the entire Boston bombing, you know, they're really good at it now, because that's like perfect. They can't do it in Hollywood, but they can do it just on the spot in the middle of a live event with people everywhere. Hydraulic lines. I'm telling you, the horse was in on it. The horse was in it. See, the horse was in on it. Yes, the horse and this guy right here, this power hungry volunteer security guard. What's up, Lex? How you doing? Welcome, man. Happy that you're here. Thank you for being here, Slam Free Poetry. Stick around because we got more. Let's see what we got here. Funny. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm just gonna start thinking everybody who says this stuff is just having fun, because nobody can honestly believe it. But yeah, there are people, so if I hadn't had to go up against people 10-15 years ago that thought 9/11 was a freaking hologram and the Boston bombing was a perfectly planned production, like nobody got hurt there. It was just all a big act. If I wasn't already scarred by that from my past, I probably wouldn't even pay attention to it. Trump is in on it. These state wants to stall and start you say WWE3 early. I said you said WWE. I said WWF. You're old school, dude. You're old school. WWF. That's been out of business for a long time, unless you're talking about the World Wildlife Federation, who won and sued for the name and won it. It's called WWE now. Yeah. The bleachers were glowing. Oh, yes, exactly. Oh, you're for real? No play. Yeah, you're the. Oh, yeah. Are you the guy that I completely shredded like 10 years ago on the holographic 9/11 thing? You had the web page with the little print on it with all the little links. You probably would remember me, because that was quite a beatdown. They're like, we're retarded on that. It's like, well, he's full of shit. I mean, none of it made any sense. And all the links were lame. It was all like, here, nothing like loose correlations. But anyways, I digress. You are, man. WWF. Woo. I mean, WWE. If you ain't watching WWE right now, you're missing out, man. It's really good right now. We watch it all. Talking trash and truth to myself. We watch it. We have fun. We have fun watching it. A lot of great storylines. They've really come a long ways. All right, so let's get back to the show here. Thank you for the entertainment there, Slam Free. All right, so okay. Now we've been through that. That's the updated footage. I'll keep you posted. There's some more stuff to come up that's new. But right now we're gonna get into the conspiracy grifting, debunking. So all right, we're gonna start off with this one. Have you guys heard this one? That the Biden got taller mystery. You know, they think that it's somebody. They're having a. I think the real thing is like someone's trying to convince everybody that it's Jim Carrey playing Biden and like the he's taller. But anyways, of course, Benny came out and did that.
We've united for the very first time the world's tallest living man and the world's shortest living man. They never...
Right? You're like, she told Orange Man find out that she wasn't at the grocery store.
Wait, hold on.
Might as well just have a prop, pretty innocent thing. But like, why lie about something like that? Kind of makes you think. And then you wonder, like, what else is she lying to you about? And like, I guess I can't trust her. Like, that's a really important thing. You don't.
Yeah, it is, Benny. You should like watch what you put out. All right, so here we go.
Biden saying, let me say this as clearly as I can. I'm the sitting president of the United States. I'm the nominee of the Democratic Party. I'm staying in the race. And then Joe Biden drops out. Okay, this is not an actual image of Joe Biden dropping out. This is an image of Joe Biden dropping out. This is a meme, but this is really funny because Joe Biden was really orange when he dropped out.
Okay, here we go.
Dropped out of the race by a tweet. I don't know, man.
Every
watches
for bullshit, man. It's like it's him. It's everybody's looking for something. Everybody needs to feel special, but it's just him. Truth is real. Yeah. Hey, look, man. That's good and all, but you're really not going to get my attention. I debunk grifters. I debunk conspiracies, man. You're at the I deprogram people. So if you're interested in ever getting out of the abyss, let me know. I'll be happy to help you. But yeah. Enjoy yourself there, buddy. Enjoy. All right. So yeah,
definitely
it's just a watch. What time is it? This is the stupid things people waste time on that make no sense. But look at this.
After this address, whether it's 2 hours after the address, 2 hours after they recorded it or right afterwards, Joe Biden walks out of the Oval Office to a group of staffers cheering for him because they're so happy he dropped out of the race. With friends like these, right? You want a friend in DC, get a dog. That says Harry Truman. Here's what it sounded like.
Okay, we got that part.
So a lot of people on the internet kind of noticing that Joe Biden is seems to be quite a bit taller than he used to be.
You believe
for
this?
Instance, he's meeting world leaders.
And this is called camera angles, by the way. Like where you are, how tall the photographer is, what they're standing on. And like I said, people his age usually do lose a little bit of height rapidly. Actually, it happens really kind of quickly. It's weird. Year to year, you're losing inches, and they want the president to seem, to be where he was and not shrink. So they probably put some lifts in there, but yeah, it's not a different person. It's not a different person.
And they're like the same height here, Bibi Netanyahu, right?
Again, it's just like it could be angles, it could be the shoes that he's wearing. He did get special shoes put in, but all right. So entertaining.
Was anybody wearing lifts in this photo? I assume we would have seen it. And now they're
these red lines do nothing. By the way, this is ridiculous. So let me actually, you know what? I've talked so much about this lately. First of all, thank you. Hold on. You got 3 in here now. We got to do another one of these.
Oh my!
All right. I honestly think that the reason Biden looked orange during the farewell address was because they turned up the contrast to make everyone subconsciously compare him with Trump. Yeah, they used to do that all the time. That's why he used to come across so orange. They would do that. They would actually intentionally make him look distorted because they had a slander campaign out against them. They were trying to overwrite that archetype. Let's see. Yep, there you go. There you go. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so you know what? I've said so much about this lately. I'm going to bring somebody else in to speak on this matter. A surprise guest, ladies and gentlemen, surprise guest. You're not going to believe who this is coming in to talk about the need for us to be more careful with our information so we do not make huge mistakes and become the establishment media and with all their dirty tricks. Like the truth, when you have the truth, you don't need to be right. Like Slam Free over there. He doesn't have the truth, but he thinks he's right. And so when he learns that it's better to know the truth than to be right, he'll be on his way. He'll be on his way to the good times. All right, here we go.
Freeze it right there. Biden grew. Wait, I thought we were saying he already died. No, we were saying he was in hospice. But then he's taller than everybody now. Welcome back to the JP React channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters because truth conquers. There's been a lot of noise of conservatives on Twitter, especially, going after these stories and sharing these stories that are either likely not true or just not true at all, when their time could be better invested in pursuing actual truth. A lot of people.
I was been saying that like ad nauseum. JP is coming around. He's coming around. He's got it. Dude, he says it's 100 times better than I ever could, I guess. But you guys be the judge.
People on Twitter, even notable accounts that maybe you and I collectively follow, they don't necessarily have journalistic integrity with regard to truth. If they see something, they get intrigued by it, they'll spread it as though it's true without having more confirmation if it's actually true. And then
where have you heard that before?
I think a second thing that happens is people get rewarded for spreading a bunch of false stuff because if they're a first mover on it, like, hey, Biden's he's already in hospice. Remember that one going around? Or look at this height difference. If you're one of the first movers spreading that around, you're going to get the dopamine hits and the little kind of social credit score of a lot more traction on Twitter. And then there's confirmation bias. So what's the bias that a lot of people are looking?
Anybody in here have confirmation bias tonight? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody have confirmation bias here tonight?
To confirm that has conservatives being wrong a little too much on Twitter, in my opinion. We all know Biden, his people, his administration, the government, big tech, deep state, they're always trying to deceive us, right? So when you see something like, here's Biden 6 inches taller than he used to be, that confirms, oh, they switched Biden now. They're trying to pull one over on us again. They're always trying to deceive us. And without knowing if that's actually true, we can latch onto that as though it is true because it confirms our bias that they are always out deceiving us. Here's the danger. When you're a truth seeker, you know, well, the narrative isn't going to be what I believe. But if you're not careful, you can just be defiant to the narrative or have your confirmation bias lead you in the opposite direction. And you can have the illusion that you're a free thinker and that you're pursuing truth because you're going in the opposite direction of the narrative. But that doesn't mean you're actually going in the direction of truth.
I think JP's been watching the show. I really do. I really do. I mean, he did come out with some Poopgate stuff, right? But I mean, I think he's just making parodies a lot of times. Like that's why I said I could never tell whether it's just being funny or what. But I think JP is a fan of the show. I mean, who's he sounding like right here?
Here's the narrative. Here's defiance to the narrative. The truth is oftentimes like in the space in between. So let's take a look at some of the hot stories that
Yeah, and I think he says it in a very, very, very good way and very concise way. Like where I try to over-explain it or make sure I cover all my counterpoints and make sure I try to get to reach everybody on every level. He just has a great way of concisely putting it together. And I wish I had those skills. I'm working on it though. I'm working on it.
I've seen conservatives getting wrong on Twitter. A lot of these I was almost retweeting. I had to pump the brakes until like, all right, let me find some other correlations here. So
See, that's what you do when you actually get to that point when you realize it. You pump the brakes on things. You pump the brakes on these things before you put your name on it. No plane, like, you know, before you put your name on it, you pump the brakes and make sure that you know what you're talking about.
One of the ones last week, someone wrote Biden's resignation letter from the campaign. This is going around. Breaking a verified source. Hopefully that source has been fired.
See, you think because it says Global Press Corp that it's actually, I mean, you can check, anybody can get this, but are they really the Global Press Corp? Probably not.
A verified source has informed the global press team that Joe Biden is currently in hospice care and is unlikely to survive the night. This and other things like it were going all around. And again, it's not far-fetched. It would be very believable if he's in hospice care, but there is just so much noise, and that doesn't mean it's true. And then things like this, one of the last known videos of Biden alive, look at how slow he's walking up the steps. Yeah, no news flash here. Is Joe Biden dying? Is he already dead? What are they hiding? Well, they're hiding a lot, but apparently he's still alive. But there were a lot of other rumors floating around. And then one of my favorites, this has just been going around like wildfire. Biden makes his first appearance in a week or so. People are like, well, dude, he resigned from the campaign and he hasn't been seen. Like, cool, it must be dead, right? Well, no, it makes a lot of sense. If he resigns from the campaign, that's like an act of shame. So go into hiding. You don't show yourself because you just did a shameful thing. You're not good enough to run. You had to admit it. You stepped down. It makes sense that he's not going to be seen. And by the way, before they started throwing him under the bus by giving him exposure time on camera during the debate and the interviews afterwards, because they were like, okay, now the playbook says we need to portray him as he actually is, not mentally fit. So before that, you almost never saw Biden. They were hiding him. But this one... He makes his first appearance out kind of in public after he resigns. He's been hiding or whatever. He hasn't been seen for a few days. And dear God, look at this. This must be a body double. Look how much taller Joe is than Jill. It always used to be this way. Look at this old picture of Joe and Jill on the right. His chin goes up to her nose. Wow, look at that convincing red line. And then in this recent picture, his chin is above her head. Look at this convincing red line, people. We'll get back to the video in a second, but first I want to tell you about
he's got these great,
these
great glasses. You can get some if you want. Did I get it just right? It'll catch up in a second here.
And use the discount code JPREACTS to get 15% off everything Bond Charge offers. Enjoy. I love them. Back to the video. And then let's see the video of it. Wow. The body double. Maybe, but probably not. Okay, snap the photos. The only explanation here is
and I see the guy too. Like Benny did that thing where he thought it was Jim Carrey, which is totally stupid. But there's this guy that's out there on TikTok or something like that who really thinks that he's onto something with this. And he gave him airtime.
He's a lot taller than he used to be. Therefore, it's a body double, right? Let's be free thinkers here. And part of free thinking means we have to think. Look at where Jill is standing relative to Biden. Jill is behind Biden. Look at the camera angle. That camera is lower than Biden, so he's naturally going to look taller because of the camera angle. Then Jill is standing behind Biden. He will look even taller than her because of the depth of perception. She is further back from the camera than he is. I even saw Alex Jones push this narrative. He's right.
Oh, really? Can you believe it? And do they jump on anything? Bombshell. It's just like... It's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad JP's figuring this out because now that he has this in his mind, I'm glad he said something too, because he may have been, there for a while, but he's saying something now. And so welcome to the club, JP. Yeah, it is. It's very it gets to be a little frustrating because there's so many people out there that just want to believe their lying eyes, and yeah. Perception is ways. Yeah. So welcome to the team.
Right about almost everything, but I don't think he was right about this. As free thinkers, we have to also do thinking, not just confirmation bias. Because if we're just doing confirmation bias, we're not a free thinker. Our thinking becomes controlled by our appetite to just confirm our bias. Because if you look
Yeah,
at a
like-
photo of Joe Biden standing on the same horizontal plane as Jill Biden, his chin is level with her nose. But if you look at a photo on the left of Biden standing on a different plane, depth perception is different. Of course, his chin is taller than it used. Of course, it goes up to her head. There could be trees behind me. If I was outside filming this video, there could be trees 100 yards behind me. Camera is a little lower than me, and I am way more forward relative to the camera than the trees are. I would appear taller than a tree. Now you can go on Twitter and be like, dude, JP, that body double, this guy, he must be like 33 feet tall. He's taller than those trees. Look at that. Do a little thinking on some of this, people. And then the height narrative. It continues when Netanyahu came to the White House. Here we see, wow, they're both 6 foot tall. Why the hell is Biden, what is he, 6'6"? The body double. The real Biden's not alive. Well, look at his feet placement. Look at Netanyahu's feet placement. They are not even close to standing on the same horizontal plane. But God bless it. Look at these red lines in the photos, people. I can't tell you how convincing these red lines are. Look, the lines to the top of their heads and then their shoulders. And now look at these red lines that someone put here in Photoshop. They're in different spots. And presumably Biden, it really looks like he is closer to the camera in this picture. These red line kind of things are weirdly convincing. It convinces people, I don't need to think about this. Someone went to the trouble of putting bold red lines in this photo. It's something I've seen in like conspiratorial photos. I say that as a proud conspiracy theorist. Photos are just crap. They don't show anything, but there's convincing red lines and so many conspiratorial photos. So much so it's something I routinely do in my videos when I'm parodying a conspiracy theory. A little while ago, I made a video in light of Candace Owens coming out, staking her reputation on her claim that the French First Lady is actually a man. I made a parody video about Candace Owens making the claim Candace Owens is a man. Watch how I use the red lines. Really convincing.
When you look at Candace's cheek and zoom in and look at just a small section of her cheek,
red lines,
and then compare it to this cheek, what do you see? Looks pretty similar, right? Well, that's a man cheek.
You can see it's such a dumb ploy that I'm using it in the dumbest way possible because this capitalizes on the dumbest part of people's brains. Wow, big, bold red arrow pointing to a desk while circling her, literally trying to prove nothing other than doing a parody on the stupidity of being leveraged, having our thinking leveraged by bolded red lines. And then another one that's going around a lot, I have seen no confirmation to make me believe this is true. The would-be Trump assassin, may he rest in hell, is a transgender. Because we see these photos and, oh my gosh, that's him at 16 and this is him now. This is going around and I actually don't believe it. It's convenient. It would confirm my bias, like a mentally ill person and the left is doing this and we want them to look bad. But based on what I've seen, I have no convincing evidence. I mean, put in a red arrow here on the picture of the right and maybe I'll believe it. So these are some of the things I think conservatives are getting wrong. And I don't say any of this because I think we need to let up on calling out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants. I don't say this because I think we need to believe the narrative. I say this because we need to pursue truth. And when we see noise that's just floating around from people that maybe were too quick on the trigger finger on Twitter, maybe they just didn't care to confirm if something's like.
I mean, not to mention videos. Who can we? Well, we'll see a few more. I know a couple off the top of my head. We've been trying to peer review, and like again, not against the people. We're all on the same side, but we got to do better.
To be true or not, because they get the Twitter traction and they're just going after that, or they were misled, kind of drunken on their confirmation bias. That creates noise. And if that's not true, that's what we're focusing on. That is distracting us from pursuing the actual reality of any given time and situation. So I point all this out because I want you and I to be as free thinkers as possible. And confirmation bias is something that robs us of our own free thinking. With that said,
there you go. Good job, JP Sears. Good job, dude. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Okay, let me stop sharing that. And yeah, and more so, you know, and it's, you know, who feeds off of it, who profits off of knowing that people have confirmation bias and how to trigger it. conspiracy grifters. Yeah, conspiracy grifters that are running around. They don't have any evidence. They don't have any proof. They just have a bunch of confirmation bias and just looking for ways to connect things that aren't there or that seem similar or that can be convincing to other people because they can then profit off of you and they could mislead you at the same time. And if you want to go a step further and if you want to believe that there's something deeper and darker going on, you could also kind of look into the thing I think that's going on is that's a lot of this is like stoked up by COINTELPRO that wants to discredit anybody outside the establishment narrative, because that way you can't siphon off the people that are under it, right? Because they'll just learn that you're crazy because you bring up weird wild shit like Trump didn't get shot, right? And then nobody wants to listen to what you have to say when you may be totally right on about something else that may be important. So that grift at your own peril. All right. And be grifted at your own peril. And the only way you can be grifted is by checking out the truth. All right. So this one, I didn't see all the way. I'm probably going to do about halfway. This one halfway, and the next one that has some information in it. But I do want to run down this whole idea that I do want to run down the reports that was out there. I'm going to use somebody that's not doing a great job on this topic for the next two videos just to kind of pick through it and see where they're kind of like where the gapping holes are. But they do bring up the content that I need to talk about. First off, the home had no trash, no what? So I need to analyze this real quick. We're going to do reacts right here. And then the second one's going to be online aliases discovered, which is in the title, but never in the video. But there are some purchases, and we do have some information about when he registered to be a Republican. And it was very close to the rally. What do you know? All right. So let's check out this first one. And we'll go with this view. All right, here we go.
Why do you think that a lot of Americans are like, this doesn't add up, this doesn't make sense, guys? How could this many things have gone wrong, right? Like the things I pointed out, a 20-year-old kid, 150, got 100.
20-year-old does not matter. That's a terrible talking point. It's a terrible example. 20 years old does not matter at all. There's plenty of capable 20-year-olds out there.
50 yards of the president of the United States with an AR-15, flew a drone to conduct site surveillance, was spotted with a rangefinder ranging targets, then lost, had advanced explosive devices on him with no military training. Nobody was placed in the most obvious.
Like, why does he have to have military training to do any of that? Terrorists don't have any military training, do they? They have terrorist training.
Yes.
All right, so let me speed this up. Let's see what he has to say.
Spot to conduct counter sniper operations. I was a sniper in the SEAL teams, Colonel. As soon as I got out of the SUV and I saw that sniper, that water tower, I was like, that.
Here's a story nobody's talking about, and you're going to want to definitely make sure you share this video and leave a like on it. And if you're not yet, subscribe or follow, because I refuse to stop covering this story.
Oh, but you really should. It's not your wheelhouse. Go ahead.
Until we have an answer. It seems like
no, you're going to grift off of it as long as you can and sell your coffee, dude. I know that's what you're doing. You're not that upset about it. Or if you are, it feels like faux outrage, but I don't know. I like Jeremy still. Just stick to the dunking on woke people like Destiny and covering entertainment and toys and things like you have in your background there. I think that's where you're best suited, but go for it.
Most of the mainstream media has moved on. It seems like many of the independent media has also moved on, but the question still remains how a 20-year-old kid who,
every time I hear 20-year-old kid, I just think you don't have very good perception of, you don't have a broad kind of sense. If you're saying the average 20-year-old, maybe, but just because they're a certain age doesn't mean that they're not capable. I was growing at a child at 20. I was naive, yes, but highly capable. Learners often are. They learn early to do everything themselves in private. Well, but there's also people that are just, they're not, they're brighter than people. They're just on the bright end of the spectrum there. And also, if he wasn't into drinking and drugs or anything like that, his brain cells weren't getting rotted away at an early age, and he probably had a lot of time on his hands. If these are the things that interested him and nothing else, we don't know what drove him to do it. But his age has nothing to do with this. There's 20-year-olds all over the place doing amazing things right now. Don't be an ageist.
Looks like he was, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
He was dropped on his head and spent all of his days and nights on Reddit. So
yeah, I mean, he's just saying shit. He doesn't know anything about that. So we'll keep
somehow
going.
defeated the entire Secret Service.
He didn't defeat them. Did he defeat the entire Secret Service? No, he took advantage of a bad situation, and everything just fell into place, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is a guy who doesn't have kids, which I'm going to bring up later. He doesn't have kids. He doesn't know what it's like to be a parent. He has no idea. He probably barely remembers being 20. It's probably because they are going off the videos of college kids being tested on the street for geography and other not. Yeah, I mean, that exactly. I mean, talk about confirmation bias. He's just inserting his own prejudice, or I guess his own bias in there about it. I would be more suspicious if the guy was in his 80s or something, right? I was about to say that, Memento. I was about to say, if they had been in their 80s, it would have been, better. I mean, hey, how do you let an 80-year-old get over there? They'd be bitching about that. How do you let a 40-year-old do it? See, if you're not really young or really old, then your age doesn't matter suddenly, right? Doesn't matter if you're the biggest dummy in the entire world, right? Yeah, but if you're in that safe range between, like, I don't know, 24 and 79, you're fine, right? I don't know. Again, this guy he makes videos to make money. I don't think that he's really that interested in it. I think it's just hot. It's a hot topic, and he puts out videos about hot topics. So don't buy his, I'm going to stay on this because people need answers. You're not looking hard enough for answers, bud. You're not. But anyway, you put out videos, which, helps me make content off of your bad job doing this. And also, I can correct what you're putting out at the same time. So it works out.
Was spotted, with a rangefinder. Flew a drone to conduct surveillance.
We've heard all this.
Had a clean line of sight.
I'm going to speed him up.
Had guards.
That make me feel better.
10 feet away from him. Coincidentally, just abandoned their post at the exact moment he was crawling up the roof and would have been in their plain sight.
Right.
If nothing else, if I could only get one answer, like let's say,
all right, I'm going to do my best to answer it for him.
God himself came down. Although I don't know if that actually happened, what I might ask. But
come on.
Let's say an alien species was like, we have perfect
now they're aliens, Jeremy. Jeremy, where's the thank you?
Evidence of what happened that day. What do you want to know? I want to know how both security guards abandoned their post at the...
Okay, I'm going to answer for you. They didn't abandon their post. You act like they just said, okay, screw this, we're out of here. All right? There's two different ones you can go with right now. One, shift change. Two, they were called down to do ground search for the kid. They had no idea that he climbed on the roof until people started pointing it out and shouting at him because he had found a sneaky way on the roof. All right. There you go. You don't need aliens now, Jeremy. You just need to do something else besides sitting in your play room, making videos all day and not doing any research.
Exact moment this guy was crawling up on the roof, he would have been in perfect sight of them. Imagine it.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
These two people who are designed to protect the roof, right? Just sitting there watching this dork
he's in imagination land, but we'll keep making fun of him. OG Sunshine says, I don't usually follow politics, but this was the first outdoor rally. Was this no, he's done tons of outdoor rallies. I've been to one. I've been to an outdoor rally. Usually at airfields, there's a lot of rallies at airfields where you can just fly the plane in and fly the plane out. And we were flying in. See, aliens, because he is casting a larger net for movie inclusion audiences for the future. Why not? Why not? The thing that kind of like is a little bit, it's the thing that his audience is barely paying attention. Probably a lot of them are barely paying attention. So they're relying on him. And this is what JP was just saying. They're relying on him to do the research for them. They're relying on him. They're trusting him to come through with the right stuff, and you know, he's winging it because he does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos a day. All right, and then he does a live show every Monday through Friday. So he is, and then he has to run his coffee brand coffee. He has to go get his coffee brand coffee, right? So he's doing all this shit. His phone's probably blowing up. He's probably got tons of other things in the background he's dealing with. Oh yeah, and by the way, he's married, and I guess he has his dogs. Luckily, he doesn't have kids. He just has kid toys. But luckily he doesn't have kids, or he'd be really in a mess because he looks like he's pretty taxed on time. He's, you know, like where does he have time to do his research? I guess between what time is this? 1 p.m. These videos come out, so I guess he makes them in the morning and then times them. And he goes and does this. And that's about an hour or two, maybe. So yeah, I mean, it's just slop. It's pure slop, but it's making content for me. So, and plus it's helping see what slop looks like and why we need to kind of like, you know, be careful about half-assing our information. It also puts a good example out of what not to be in the future. We don't want to be media like this. Now, when he does the other stuff, like, you know, the dunk-ons, like when he talks about the, you know, internet life and internet people and stuff like that, he's fine. I like his content. I'm not going to unsubscribe from him or anything like that, you know, because he's making some huge mistakes here. It's just not his wheelhouse, which I keep leaving him comments to say.
Army crawl right in front of them. They would have been saying to themselves, get a load of this guy. Look at his head.
No, because if you saw the picture from out the window, you're just looking out the field. You're not looking over the roof, especially if you're sitting back, right? And if they had a sniper rifle in the window, which one of the pictures from Grassley showed, I should show those pictures here in a minute. I had it pulled up the other day, and I just got another. Okay, there it is. I got the bike and the backpack here. Yeah, we'll run through this in a second. I just want to make sure everything's kosher here. We're going to run through all the evidence that Chuck Grassley put out. And we'll do that before we go over to the Senate stuff. Let me see if it's on here. There's that. Okay, wow, they redacted this entire picture. I swear to God, I saw a picture from out the window with the sniper rifle pointing in the window. It's not in here. It's not in this one I'm looking at. I can go back to the original though. Let me see. Oh wait, here's some more. Up top. Okay. So I need to go back to the original. Sorry guys. I'll play this while I'm doing this. Here we go.
Look at his face. He looks like his mom drank while he was in the womb.
Jeremy.
And they would have just eliminated him immediately. He would have crawled right past him.
No, that's what you want to have had happen. That's not what happened.
But for some reason, at the moment he was crawling up there, the people designed to protect that roof left. And the guy who was last man standing, the second guy, just
for some reason, you should figure out what that reason is before you talk about it.
Happened to forget his key card. So
now you're just bitching about something you don't know. And then someone's going to be like, well, this is what happened. You're like, oh, damn, I only made 10 videos about it. Oh, well, I don't care. Like that should make you cringe when you realize you just lied and made money on all these videos to people when you should have just waited and just calmed down, wait for the information to come in, then report it to your millions of subscribers, man. You're still gonna make money. I don't know why you feel like you got to do more.
Nobody else anywhere on earth could let him in. It had to be the guy to abandon his post to go let him in. And
you're saying abandon his post. How do you know he wasn't asked to go somewhere and do something, or it wasn't his? It was his scheduled time to depart, and someone was coming to take his place. It wasn't abandoning his post. And also, he couldn't have seen where the guy was from that window unless he stuck his head out and turned it to the left. So these are all things that people should know who are reporting on this. I don't have 2 million subscribers and do 5 shows a day, 6 shows a day. I don't do that, right? But I know this.
There's nobody else anywhere that could let him in the door. It had to be the last guy standing, protecting that spot. Isn't that weird?
No.
Well, lost in a lot of
these weird when you put it like that. I mean,
congressional hearings, because a lot of people kind of tune them out. And I understand why. People are kind of like black-pilled on these congressional hearings because
it's not an excuse. I mean, I get it. They're long and people work during the day. And unless you're like really into it, why are you going to sit there and watch the whole thing when you can find people who will summarize it for you, right?
You know, nothing really ever comes of them, right? We had you know, the director of the Secret Service stepped down. Yeah, to what? A $50 million golden parachute? I want that woman brought up on charges.
How do you know that? I mean, it's just
We had people ignore, not show up for the congressional hearings. I want them subpoenaed. And if they don't show up, I want them put in jail right next to Steve Bannon.
maybe you should run for office, Jeremy, and then you can be in charge of doing that.
You know what I mean? Now, Representative Eli Crane revealed that Lee Tardy Oswald's home was scrubbed clean like a medical lab, and that there was no silverware or trash found. Does
Like,
that sound?
Does it make any sense that they would throw silverware out? Like maybe they just don't use silverware because no one likes to do the dishes. I don't know. Dad looked like he's you know, on disability, and so does his mom. They look like they're both on disability, and so maybe they just use plastics stuff, you know, instead of silverware. I don't know, but that's just a strange thing to bring up. I would be like, oh, there's no silverware, and then find out why there's no silverware. I mean, is that a big deal? Trash, people take the trash out too. You know, what day is trash day? Did they get there before trash day? I don't know. I mean, some people, how do you know? It's like, is this because your silverware is laying everywhere and there's trash all over your house? Is that why you're saying this? I don't get it.
Normal to you? Leave a like on this video if that made you raise an eyebrow.
Okay, so what about for a dislike? Like if it didn't, do I dislike it? I don't know.
Ha, tricked you. You're a conspiracy theorist now. Tricked you. You're a conspiracy theorist now. Ha ha. Fooled ya. Representative Eli Crane of Arizona, during Tuesday's House Committee on Homeland Security. Now, I'm just getting the story now because nobody covered it except the Gateway Pundit. Asked Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner a question regarding the Trump rally loser, Thomas Matthew Crooks. The former Navy SEAL representing Arizona's 2nd Congressional District asked Colonel Paris, did your team make entry and conduct any investigation of the suspect's home? Paris responded, I believe we had people that participated in securing it. There were things that go boom that we were provided the night of. Crane continued, did you get any reports of any of your agents saying anything fishy at the home? Paris answered, I was briefed on, before Crane answered, was there any silverware in the home? Any trash in the home? Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner responded, I have nothing in the briefing that I was given. Crane answered, was it extremely clean, almost like a medical lab? Were you given any of those reports? I was not given any of those reports, said Paris. Representative Crane concluded his question by saying, that's what I'm hearing. Interesting. Let's take a little look at the actual coverage.
The staff to go ahead and play the video that I took at the site yesterday.
All right, let's see. At the site.
Let's skip
You
this.
showed up on
Oh, we've
site.
seen this.
What the tallest
Come on.
structure on the site was?
More about the silverware.
I can't say at the moment that I arrived that I
trash.
did know, sir.
Why was the silverware gone? Why was there no trash in the house? Somebody got there before them would be maybe what I think.
Oh no,
Obviously, I
yeah,
can't
it was
prove that.
it was the horse. The horse did it. It was the horse.
Obviously, I can't prove that.
Obviously.
By the way, if you appreciate me staying on this topic, all I ever ask is that you immediately, right now, while you're watching, follow or subscribe.
Thank you, Suzanne. How
Leave a
you
like on the
doing?
video. It helps immensely because it gives me a chance of actually finding you when I'm live or when I'm putting out standalone videos covering things.
Oh, really?
Okay. Now that you've had a chance to go back and look over it, what is the tallest structure on that site?
The water tower.
Okay, this is the water tower thing where I would have done it. I would have been up there. Maybe you should join you should go join the Secret Service because they need help. Obviously, they need help. All right, so this is the same stuff we've seen. Like I said, I'm probably going to show all of this. Again, a nothing burger from Jeremy. Like, okay, no trash, no silverware, and just a bunch of faux outrage. Like that was a lame one. Go, dude. Seriously, just don't stop it. All right. Let me show you something real quick while we're on this. All right, we all clear? We're all clear. All right, let me show you something real quick. All right, there is I'm pretty sure this looks like the same window. Sniper rifle. All right. Sniper location. You see how it's set up? You see how that window is? You don't have to take a hard left right with your head out the window to see where the guy was. Right? You see where the weapon's pointed? You see the eyepiece. Now, there may be somebody out there that knows better than I do, but if this is what they were looking through and this is their point of view, they would not have seen him crawling up the side of the building, nor would they have seen the people shouting and pointing, right? I'm guessing from what I could tell from this picture right here, that would be the case, right? That would be the case. So more stuff. But yeah, see, here you go. That's what you see from out the window. Oh, he should have took about 1 second. If he hadn't abandoned his post, but there's the evidence, right? Look, okay, so we could see people down there on the next to the trees. Remember the video of the people next to the trees? This doesn't even look like a gun. Is this a, where's the stock? How do you shoot out of that thing? Guys, what am I looking at here? What is this? Where's the barrel? What are we looking at? Memento, Wolfram, anybody, any of my warriors out there? What am I looking at here? Why is there no barrel on this? But it looks like it's a rifle. Am I missing something? It looks like it's just the barrel is covered. Is it that small? It looks really small for some reason. All right. Hold on, let's take a little look. Maybe there's more pictures. It's that small? That looks like a very short barrel. Stock is on the right. Yeah, see the stock right here. There's that, right? Wait, hold on. There's that right there, right? There's a trigger. But that looks so small. I would expect it to be out to about right here. But you see that again. And there's like this, I don't know, it looks really small. Maybe you guys know what kind of weapon this is. I don't know. It looks like it's mainly for surveillance. Like, I don't know what this guy's doing. But anyways, there you go. I don't know if that's better. Maybe there's some stuff sticking out the side that makes it look different. There's just so much stuff on top of it. It just looks like, wow. But yeah, they're seeing, remember the people next to the trees? The guy was out there yelling at people. Is that him? The guy yelling at people? I don't know. Is that him? But that's what this guy's seeing, right? And that's over to the side. So he wouldn't have. So Jeremy, just do your homework. I can't believe no one's put pictures out of the sniper room. Okay, so that's that. And I got one more for you. The barrel's covered. Can't tell it's covered. It's covered. Okay. Oh no. What did I do? Here we go. Oh yeah, it's different. Got you. All right, so let me show you one more since we haven't seen it before. Some of you might not have seen it yet. Let's pull up. Everybody good? All right. All right, here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the bike and the backpack. There it is. It's like a nice bike. He has some kind of thing tied to the front of it. And then the backpack to the side. So what do you guys see? What do you see? That's that. All right. So there's the bike. There's the window. There's all the things that you could find on a wonderful day. All right. So where are we at in the thing? Okay. Yeah, here we go. We got one more. I guess when you the grifting, the grifting. We got one more from the grifting. But this one is about this one kind of plays off this one a little bit. So the online alias. Now we're gonna find this one. He actually does deliver some information here, just bad takes on it. But here we go. Let's get the small window there. All right.
Jeremy here from the Quartering, and a brand new trove of information.
Bad takes by Jeremy,
including purchases tied to the online persona of the our aliases apparently have been discovered, and a purchase history has now been put together, and it's pretty obvious what was going on, and no one noticed. Not that I'm a fan of the government, watching people's purchase history. I'm just saying they know they do this, and for some reason, this guy was like basically tailor-made to get a visit from people in suits. Never did it. No one ever visited him. Just, I guess, another one of the rapid cascading failures that apparently we're told that, is what happened. Now, I am happy that we're seeing some bit of information released here, because especially in this new trove of info, there's some very interesting stuff, including whether or not his parents will be charged. And of course, no, they're not going to be charged. Now, again, unless there's any direct evidence, I don't see why you would charge them. But I do want to point out that a Michigan parents went to prison for something their kid did. I don't know how I feel about all that outside of, hey, if you were giving them the tools and telling them to go do it type thing. But of course, the parents have been just the perfect witnesses, according to the FBI, by the way. I want to give a quick shout out to, I'll keep it short, Coffee Brand Coffee's summer flavors. It's a limited time only thing. We have blackberry cream, hazelnut churro, orange creamsicle, and s'mores.
Don't forget his new flavor, Conspiracy Grifter. All right.
Trove of information. His parents, the biggest misser in history. Parents unlikely to face.
What I need to do is start watching these a little bit and write down on the sources and just go with the sources they're using and just put out my own version of it. I mean, I don't want to spend all the time ragging on these guys for doing half-assed work, but it's kind of part of the show now, isn't it?
Charges, experts say. Pennsylvania parents were not alarmed by son's online purchases related to pew-pews and to chemicals. By the way, his parents reported that he would just do science experiments all the time. There's nothing weird at all about that, right? A 22-year-old kid who still lives at home doing science.
22-year-old kid who is 20. Is he 22 or 20? He's 20 years old, right? 20-year-old, not 22. Had gotten an associate, had been in math and science his entire life. All right. Had gotten a degree, an associate's degree from a community college, was accepted to Robert Morris University and was going there in the fall. Was supposed to be going there in the fall. Was not out of school. I mean, this half-ass motherfucker. That's why I guess I'm not gonna say it.
Experiments in the basement. You never thought, hey, maybe I should look in on that, see exactly what's going on. Nah, of course.
Okay, well, I mean, he's 20 years old, pretty much out doing his thing, whatever. Probably nothing out of the norm. I wouldn't think that they would say, "Oh, you know what? I bet you he's down there building a bomb." Hey, Keith, how you doing? That's a great question, Keith Muchacha. 25 guns purchased and he used his dad's gun. Interesting. Yeah, that's a really great question. I haven't seen anybody bring that up yet. Yeah, put that one. We're gonna put that one right here on the board to get answered. We gotta figure that out. Why would he? I wonder what kind of guns he has. Maybe he didn't have the kind of gun he needed. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to lose any of his. I don't know, but that is a great question, Keith. Thank you for coming in here with a killer question.
Of course not. I mean, you were busy. Your kid's just a quirky little guy, right? He's just your quirky little dude.
This is a guy that doesn't have kids, by the way, that's talking right now. So he spends most of his time in imagination land. And like I said, this is not his wheelhouse. His wheelhouse is dunking on internet people and getting involved with internet drama. That's what he does. That's how he made his channel great. But he doesn't have any kids. So he doesn't really get what being a parent is like or what raising children is like or anything like that.
Look, again, I get nervous around blaming the parents because it is entirely possible they had no idea, right?
They had no idea.
My question is,
I doubt it. I mean, they called the police looking for him. Did you forget that part? So they called the police looking for him. They obviously had a concern for him that day, right? For some reason. We'll figure it out when they come out with their side of the story. And whatever it was, they obviously weren't averse to getting involved, that there was a reason to get involved. At least it seems that way, right? So there's a couple of different angles you can go with. But likely is that he was an adult, living at home, but an adult out on his own, held down a job, had gotten an associate's degree, was going to a 4-year university, didn't seem to have any red flags flying. And if he's doing science or something in the basement, you might not know what's coming in the packages, and you're not thinking that way because they obviously didn't have any reason to think that way. So let's go check on him. The mother's blind, the father's severely overweight, right? Has issues. They're probably sitting in front of the TV next to each other on the couch most of the time,
Again, I always want to be clear, not that I support this, but we do know our government is always watching our purchases And if you are purchasing certain things in a certain order, even if you're purchasing from different places, there are systems in place that put you on lists. I mean, they have this in every school basically nowadays. That's how they stopped a potential event here in Wisconsin up north, which Stephen Crowder reported. There are numerous red flags that get raised when you purchase. Not for this guy though, not for this guy. It was just yet another event in the rapid cascading failures of the Secret Service and the FBI. I'm told. I mean, we're told. By the way, well, let me get into this. Questions about whether or not the parents.
Okay, hold on. He made 25 gun purchases. That is, did they find 25? Do you know if they found 25 guns in the house? Or because if he's using aliases to buy guns, maybe he was selling guns to people. It could have been selling guns. I know a way to get him untraceable. You know, somebody wants them. Maybe he had a connection, was making some cash on the side. I have no idea. The 25 guns is a great point to drill down on and investigate, because it's really it's an oddity, right? It's an oddity to have. So I want to know, did he actually have 25 at his house? Did he just purchase them using aliases, obviously not to be tracked? But with 25, why do you need 25? You don't need 25. I don't know. Maybe it was just him not wanting to be traceable if they pass any gun control laws. I don't know. That's a great card. That even past the explanations for most things, I think that's something I'd want to find out. It's such an interesting point.
Of the biggest loser, biggest miss in history, could face charges, saying you'd have to prove in some way beyond a reasonable doubt that his parents aided and abetted his ability to plan this event in some way, or knew what he was doing and provided him some means to do it. Well, they did provide the tool he used. I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's what he used, right?
That's not even close to being fair, dude. You can totally there's hundreds of thousands, if not more, of people that are out there that are into shooting, that they share weapons at the shooting range, and this never turns into something like this. It's such a stretch to try to get a comparison about this. It's like you just need something to say to take up time.
Matthew Mangino of whatever some law firm said that would be difficult to prove. I think that beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, remember the report that when agents showed up at their house, it was cleaned? Quote.
No, I remember the report that you did when they said they were questioned, was there silverware, was there trash? That's the only two things I ever heard, but you ran with it. So no, I don't remember that. And so now we're going to create a fallacy here as we make a false comparison, but let's do it.
At least this is someone else's words, not my word. Medically cleaned, that there was no garbage or even silverware in the house.
See, the two things. What else was not in the house? Medically cleaned? That is such a sharp jumping. I mean, he guys, is he doing this on purpose, or is he just this ignorant about how to handle these situations? You know, I think he's just used to dealing with drama, internet drama, and doesn't know what he's doing.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they reported during the congressional hearings.
That didn't report it like that. Did anybody watch that? Did they say medically cleaned, like sterilized environment, like surgery? Come on. I don't think either one of his parents could have actually done that. Physically could have done that. But anyways, just because the trash was taken out and they didn't see any silverware, I mean, I think these are dumb points. These are really dumb points when we're trying to figure out what turns somebody into a killer, you know?
So it's suspected. So who cleaned the house? Who hid the trash? Who got rid of the silverware? Question.
It was the horse. Damn it! It was the horse. We saw the horse at the event. We knew the horse was involved in it. Jeremy, look, the horse is done. Do a report tomorrow all about the horse, and you'll have all your answers.
Mark, was it the parents? You know, the parents did call PD about their kid being quote unquote missing that night. Again.
Yeah, I mean, I watch him for the entertainment stuff. Like, I watch him. He's fine. He was slightly lofty adjacent for a minute, until Farron ran him off. But he's not a bad dude. He's just out of his wheelhouse. Jeremy used Farron balance as a reputable source for Eliza Blue. Then he lost me. Well, you can see how much effort he puts into his research. None. But he's a grifter. He says it's all about the grift. Oh, and you know what? You know what we're gonna do, guys? Just because when this is over with, just because I'm going to pull out the video I made about the Jeremy Farron incident drama. It's it's the first one. I think it's one of the first ones I ever made with AI. I don't know. It was pretty good. Winning reality, perhaps the powers that be swept through the house so nothing could be found. Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. I don't think so.
I'm not saying they knew. I'm just saying.
And then they cleaned it and took the silverware and trash out. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. We're trying to find just, okay, where are the raw materials? Where are the weapons? Where are the electronic devices? That's the stuff that they took out. It's all on a list. I mean,
it would be nice if somebody looked into it. That's all I'm saying. You know, like it would be neat.
This isn't like Pulp Fiction where, you know, someone's head was blown off and they got to cover it up before their wife gets home, you know, or they got to travel a body across town. So they got to scrub the car down or whatever. They didn't even do a good job doing that.
Someone looked into it. That's all a guy's saying, you know. And we don't just say, oh, there's such a wonderful witness, you know, everything's so great. According to his search history, which has just been released too, he also researched other people who did similar things.
We already know this. It wasn't just released.
By the way, in his case, both of his parents were charged and convicted. So he was probably wondering if his parents were going to get charged.
Oh, maybe.
Also,
could have. That's not a bad.
He had
point.
made 25 purchases related to his
Purchases.
pew-pews, and which again, I don't care so much about that. People do that all the time. I mean,
They're
25 is
using
hardly
a-
anything. Get your numbers up. Pump those
We'll
numbers
see.
up. However,
Encrypted down.
also 6 chemical precursors, quote, of material used to create things that go boom, that were all found in the subject's home and vehicle. So there's no warning system in place if you're making these purchases. Well, we're told that he used an online alias. I wonder what that will be if they'll ever release that. Crick's parents.
Well, hold on. The way that he worded this, right? Trump assassin online alias discovered! Exclamation point. Huge red flags. Purchases in search history. You know, I get it. Like I've been looking around this capitalization thing. Like I threw some capital letters up in one of my ones. Did I do it for tonight? No, I don't think I did it for tonight. I did it like last night, I think. I mean, some people that I like use the capital letters approach, but they're like his is just. It makes you think when you click in, you're going to hear about what the online alias is because it's been discovered. Like, why would he hold back, right? And you know, huge red flags. Okay, yeah, I guess so. I mean, people click into the videos more likely for the person than the big capital letters. I don't know, but I've been trying to use them a little bit, not in the way he does, but just for other things to see if it pulls more people to the video. I'm just curious. I mean, a lot of Black conservative perspective uses them, you know. So
Also told investigators that he had always been interested in
A lot of people
science
use them.
experiments, so they were used to getting packages addressed to their son at their home. Again, that's not that big a deal.
yeah, there's the parents. Yeah, these are surgically clean the house, right? They're snooping around the basement because it's so easy to get up and down them stairs, right? That's a walk. That's for blindness, right? They both were suffering deeply from health issues. So energy level, care, concern, nothing tripped them up except for the day he took off. They were somehow worried about him at that point. So they, like I said, they're going to tell us the most. They'll tell us the most.
Deal. You know, their son. I mean, the way that people are nowadays, you know, there are some days that there's 5 or 10 Amazon packages at my door. Like, why would your parents be opening that if it's addressed to your son? Your son's an adult. You're probably not opening it. And even if you did, you saw some chemical in there. You might not even know what it's for. You might not ask questions. Convenient.
And yeah, and like what he doesn't realize is they lost a son. Like, I mean, he's all mad and outraged, right? But he doesn't realize these people lost a son. Like before July 13th, there was a whole history there. There's Christmases, birthdays, first words, first baths, first foods. There's a lot of love going on because they were, you know, here you go. He made it 20 years and he wasn't a disappointment. He was good at school. And you know, an awkward teenager, sure. But then you can grow out of that really fast once you hit adulthood. You know, you always tell your kids and make sure they know that they're loved and that, you know, that teenage years are awkward by design because your body's growing and the words getting bigger and you're not a kid anymore. And just remind them that you had awkward teenage years too, because 9 out of 10 times it's the truth, right? Most of us had some awkward years as a teenager leading up to our adulthood, and I certainly did. And I don't try to hide that fact from my son, who's in his teens now. So, and like I said, you just roll with it. You always remember though, those little guy years, man, those little one years, and it takes a lot of love to get through that. Alive for most people, So I know that everybody has a loving family, and people go through different experiences. But you had a roof over your head, you had food on your table, you made it through, you made it to adulthood. Somebody had to at least give you some type of love, or at least help you get there. You didn't get there on your own. Let's put it that way. So that's what that's what I got to say about that. But he doesn't understand that these people lost a child, and a lot of people forget that when they're all upset about something. These people probably had very little knowledge of what was going on, and I think if they seem like the kind of parents that would have done something about it. So he was probably really careful to hide it from them.
Or yes, I still believe the parents knew at least something. That's what I believe. I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying that's what I believe. By the way, I'm going to take this time to reference. You know how you have, Hulu and Disney Plus and Netflix, and you have all sorts of apps on your phone to watch content. You have the YouTube app, maybe. If you don't have the Rumble app, make sure you get it after watching this video today.
And subscribe to me instead of him, because
expect that videos like this
subscribe to
continue
both.
to get suppressed. We've seen the way the mainstream media treated them. After this video, download the Rumble app, follow the quartering. I'm pushing to 250. I'd like to hit 250,000 followers by the end of next month.
Me too. I'm pushing to 200,000. I'm pushing to 250,000 subscribers. I like to have that by the end of next month. So please download the app and subscribe to me. Hey Heidi, how you doing? What's up? If his parents had health problems, they could have distracted them from what's going on with them. Yeah, I mean, especially if they're pain, medications, things like that. It could have very much distracted from them. Just energy level, right? That guy looked like he was struggling to walk there, and she would look like she was struggling to see. So, there's probably a lot of things going on in that house. But, he probably was the least of their worries. I mean, like I said, graduated with honors, already had an associate's degree, was going to a four-year university, was highly technical, probably did all the IT in the house, right? I hooked him up with all kinds of things. Hey, can you fix my laptop for me? I did something wrong. I just can't get this open. Boom, kids on it, right?
We know that, certain things can be said in certain places, and I want to be able to say whatever I want to say, and I know I can do it there. So try it again.
Yeah,
it's been great.
I can tell.
Updated. Also, as an afterthought, by the way, as an afternote in this, the parents have been, quote, extremely cooperative, blah, 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 blah. Now, at the very bottom of this, they also write, following the sentencing of the parents, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Also, the FBI on Monday described him as a loner. Well, of course, they're always a loner, right? That's a perfect target for it. I mean, sorry. The CIA said he wasn't an MK Ultra guy, so.
This doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, it's just has no idea. MK Ultra ended a long time ago. I did an entire stream on MK Ultra. I called it MK Ultra Legacy because it's not around anymore. They learned way back a long time ago. You don't need to dose people with high doses of acid and throw them in a room to make them your mind control slave. You can just use information like they do today. That's why we have to be careful about our information and not bullshit people and not give half-ass information out, especially on important things like this, right? Especially at this time in history, this time in the world where we're fighting against deceptions and lies and mind control, people that are using the nefarious mind control and psychological warfare against the citizenry of our country and the world in order to further their agenda. Right. And I get that's where you're coming from with your confirmation bias, but at the same time, you can't become what you fight. You got to be better than that. And that's why I say, Jeremy, if you're going to cover shit like this, do better.
I mean, come on, they wouldn't lie. Also that he was highly intelligent. Oh yeah, I bet that's convenient too. He defeated the entire Secret Service by himself.
You've done no research. You just showed me that you've done no research into this. All right. Is there anything else in here that I wanted to talk about? Let me see. We'll get through it.
Cited his college education and ability. Have you seen these pro-Palestine protesters? They don't look very smart.
Look at these. I mean, fallacy after fallacy after fallacy. I mean, okay, they're pro-Palestine protesters. Therefore, all kids in college are stupid. Got it.
To me, and they're going to colleges that are $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
They also said, where is this article?
It's almost 21. See,
Where is this?
got
One of these articles said this might be it. Yeah, here it is. Now, also according to his online persona or whatever his his alias, he had made online searches related to power plants, other similar events, information on making things that go boom, U.S. elected officials, and the incident of the involving the Slovakian prime minister, where someone tried to take his life earlier in the year.
He had delusions of grandeur. This is what I'm seeing from this. Delusions of grandeur, believing that he's convinced himself that he has to go out and do this because the world needs him. That's what I'm seeing right here.
I mean, if you plug these things into a threat detector, I would say that this is pretty high. Now, could you be doing a research paper for college? Sure. But then why are you also buying the chemicals? Why are you also buying all this other stuff? Again,
Jeremy wants to be spied on 24/7.
I don't agree with the United States surveilling its citizens in this manner, but I'm just saying they do.
You sure?
Somebody saw this, right? I would assume.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Also, we talked about yesterday these text messages that we talked
They
about.
saw it from an alias they couldn't trace. So probably that they saw it.
Where they said he knows you guys are up there. They knew he was a threat. They did nothing. Also, through the congressional hearings, pinpointed an hour-long window which lapses before the event. The text messages clearly show that it went on significantly longer, close to 105 minutes. The release of the text messages, along with photos of the loser and aerial images of key buildings and points, all came out yesterday as well, which most of us already saw because we saw it happen live. For months leading up to the rally, he was secretly laying the groundwork for what would evolve into his fateful act. In a series of discoveries, the FBI
Once of planning,
found that he had carried out internet searches on power plants, other events, homemade boom booms, current top officials and politicians, even of what happened to the Slovakian prime minister. Twice he went to the site before the event and used a drone just 200 yards away from where former president would take the stage, possibly to scope out positions for the attack. I mean, it was a position that you could only dream of. High ground, straight line of sight, unimpeded. We believe the subject made significant efforts to conceal his activities. Additionally, we believe his actions also show careful planning ahead of the campaign rally. Well, I bet you do. As early as spring of last year, crooks began buying components anonymously using encrypted email services based.
Well, there you go. Encrypted email services anonymously buying components. I guess they could have just tracked it to where it went, the house.
In foreign countries. Again, I'm going to tell you, they're going to use this to go after. They're going to use this to go after your 2A and encrypted messaging.
They always do. They always do. Every pivot off of mass shooting or an assassination tip or whatever is going to go towards gun control. I'm sorry, leftist gun control. Right? Yeah. Every time. It's been happening for decades. So no new news there. No new news.
Right? In
That's
recent
not a
months, he
prediction.
began picking up, buying chemicals. 2 or 3 were functional
It's a fact.
devices found in his car. He also used encrypted accounts to mask his identity while buying the chemicals.
Well, there's your answer, Jeremy. And who knows where he had it, if he had it sent there or if he got it sent to another place. I mean, we haven't figured that part out either. We're jumping the gun if we think that they all came to his house, like directly to his house. Could have had it sent to work. He could have had it sent to his work, the old folks' home, and somebody else's name there, and just picked him up. Somebody with Alzheimer's. He's clever. I mean, obviously clever, very strategic thinking. And so he probably figured all this out. Like, how can I make sure that I don't get caught? Oh, I have an Alzheimer's patient here. I'll send packages there. I'll switch them out for this. He probably had it all figured out, dude. But he's just 20, so that's hard to believe, isn't it?
They're going to use this to go after encrypted
Like
messaging.
we did with Columbia
I
House.
assure you.
Right with 13.
I assure you. Now the FBI has demanded records from 86 companies with which cooks had accounts and interviewed more than 450 people, with at least one high-profile conversation still to come. I assume that's
the horse.
The conversation with Trump.
Oh.
On July 6th, he registered Republican and signed up to attend.
July 6th, y'all. July 6th. I think this is where I wanted to get with this. Hey, K. Marshall, how you doing? July 6th is when he changed his affiliation to Republican, or registered as a Republican. Maybe he wasn't registered as anything before that, but that's when he did it.
So he did this to obfuscate who he was, just like we've.
Yeah, to run cover for himself or to frame Republicans for whatever he was about to do. Should he get killed? Should he not be able to escape? You know, so like he was obviously trying to throw them off, and that 1 in a million sniper shot that caught the top of his head and took him out. You know, that was he had something else he was going to do next. Yeah, and that just came out. I figured he had either switched it then or switched it during the primaries to do that whole like strategy voting thing where they go over and they vote against the guy they don't want to win in the primaries. I returned Black Swan lady found guilty of manslaughter. I've returned. Okay, cool. Well, I guess so. I don't know what that is, but thank you for that.
Always said from the beginning. That day, he looked up the distance from Lee Harvey Oswald, all this kind of stuff. The FBI isn't investigating the security failures, however, although at least 3 congressional committees and the executive branch are trying to do so. I mean, this is so wild to me. This is so wild. By the way, we also know that when he was confronted by an officer who was, for some reason, unarmed, he still...
Oh my God, dude. He doesn't pay attention to anything. He was climbing on the roof. He was literally climbing up there as fast as he possibly could, probably feeling like he had seconds to do something, right? And was just climbing up on a gutter, or just like he probably got a boost. I don't know how it happened, but he couldn't like, he's not like got the gun in his teeth or something. Like, yeah, he had a gun on him, but he couldn't use it to climb the roof at the same time. Like, he didn't know where he was going to go. He was just trying to get an idea. Was somebody up there? And boom, you know, the guy turned around and pointed a weapon at him, and he had nothing, so he had to let go. And that's the guy who cut his hand.
Still had another 30 seconds before he opened fire. In that 30 seconds, you couldn't have sent a radio message saying, get the president off the stage immediately. Couldn't say that. Oh yeah, they didn't have communication with Secret Service. Also another convenient issue.
It's not convenient. It's a procedure failure, right? And had the Secret Service been there early in the day for their meeting when they should have been, maybe that would have gotten resolved. Communication breakdown. Not convenient. Shit happened. It's real, right? There was already a communication breakdown in progress throughout the event. It was already happening. It was already there. So it's not convenient. It's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like, this is absolutely nuts. I'm going to stay on this. If you made it to the end of this video, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow wherever you are.
Listen to what
download the Rumble app. Follow me there. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Okay. He says he's going to stay on it. Oh boy, more content. All right, so we'll just keep this. Just let's turn to be debunking the quartering until he has to have me on. I'll be like, dude, you just got just stick with, like, you know, dunking on Destiny. That's what you do good. Like, you're good at that. I like those episodes. All right. Yes, we did it. I'm not going to go into the one about enough of this guy for the night, right? Again, I like quartering. I like his other content. He's doing a horrible job covering this assassination attempt, and you know, it is what it is. Okay, what do I want to do next? Oh yes. So the Senate hearing. I'm just gonna go through some quick hits on this, and then we're gonna get on out of here. Winning reality. I seen one student today showing how he climbed and shimmied up the drain pipe to get on the roof. Did they show it, or did they discuss this as a possibility? Because I did talk about that. Which one was it? I would love to see footage of it, or anybody that was out there. I'd love to know exactly how he got on the roof. I've seen a couple different possible ways, including the one that we were looking at earlier, where there's an air conditioning next to like a shed. Yeah, it was shimmered. He could have shimmered. He didn't have enough bedazzling on to shimmer, so he shimmied. But yeah, if they actually have footage of it, or if anybody from the ground maybe has come out and said, I saw him do it, this is how he did it. I think they just saw, we saw the video showed like the last seconds of him climbing on the roof. Like, he was already bum. Then he started crawling around. But I think that he's skinny. He just snuck in a little crevice there and got into a place that wasn't where he had the most anonymity, and found a way to climb. They showed it. Oh yeah, well, yeah. Let's find that. That'll be really good. I'll tell you what. While Suzanne's finding that, We're going to let's see. Okay. Well, Suzanne finds that, we're going to look at this Senate hearing. I got some highlights from it. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I got some good takes. In fact, we're going to bring up somebody who's loves to put out videos before their time, before they're ready. Right now, Benny, he's been doing really good at putting out videos too quickly lately, missing some major things. Let's see. But this was good. This is good. His tweets aren't too bad. So I'll turn this up. So again, Senate hearing. They're grilling the Secret Service guys. Hold on. Is that right? Make sure I got this right. FBI Deputy Director. Okay, here we go. Okay. That's who they're grilling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Abate. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, first name Master.
Yes, Senator. Thank you.
You are the Deputy Director of the FBI. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
Suzanne, just drop me the link in Discord.
Is there any doubt in your mind or in the collective mind of the FBI that President Trump was shot in the ear by a bullet fired by the assassin crooks?
Senator, there is absolutely no doubt in the FBI's mind whether former President Trump was hit with a bullet and wounded in the ear. No doubt, there never has been.
Okay.
I've been part of this investigation since the very beginning, and that has never been raised.
You're sure?
Yes.
It wasn't a space laser.
No.
It wasn't a murder hornet.
Absolutely not.
It wasn't Sasquatch.
No, Senator.
It was a bullet.
It was a bullet, Senator. 100%.
Fired by crooks.
Yes, sir.
That hit President Trump in the ear and almost killed him.
100%, Senator.
Okay. Glad we cleared that up. I don't want to get off the subject here. Did the FBI just settle 2 lawsuits, one wholly, one in part, in which the FBI agreed to give Peter Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Lisa Page $800,000?
It's my understanding, Senator, that the Department of Justice was involved in that, not the FBI.
The FBI had nothing to do with it?
There may have been consultation with our general counsel's office, but
Does the FBI have to sign off on it?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't believe so, but I would want to confirm that.
I would like you to, this would be the same Lisa Page who said to Mr. Strzok, quote, Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right. To which Mr. Strzok said, quote, no, he won't. We will stop it. That's the Peter Strzok and Lisa Page I'm talking about. I need to know if the FBI signed off on this lawsuit.
We will get
this
that
settlement.
answer for you, Senator.
And then I need to know who signed off on it. Did you sign off on it?
The Great Lovers.
I absolutely did not and
Great
would never sign off on something
Did Chris
like that.
Wray sign off on it, the settlement?
I don't believe he did.
Okay. Did any, you don't know what?
Nor do I think he would have.
You need to let me know who signed off on this, if anyone at the FBI. So it was Merrick Garland who agreed to do this. Is that right?
I don't, Senator, I do not know.
Why is he asking this question right now? Did this just move to something else? I feel like we're way off topic.
Hell, somebody had to agree to it. I've settled a lawsuit before. The client's got to agree to it. You're the client.
Understood. I'm gonna direct in to the department.
Why is this important? I don't understand why he jumped to this. Just he had some unfinished business or something. I don't know. Why did he jump to this?
Department of Justice to answer those questions.
Get me that information if you would. Mr. Rowe, help me understand this.
I saw the video I think you're talking about with Paramount Tactical. Is that the one we're talking about the water tower?
The assassin crooks fired his first shot, as I understand it, at 6:12 p.m. He was about 150 yards away. It's been reported that the snipers, the government snipers, saw him on the roof 20 minutes before. Not 2 minutes, 20 minutes before. Is that correct?
Senator, that's first time I'm hearing this. That is not correct based on the information I have right now, sir.
Well, when did the FBI snipers see him on the roof?
Just Secret Service sniper, sir. I mean,
I'm sorry, you're right.
That's
Secret
an insult,
Service
sir.
sniper.
No, I'm just kidding.
I understand. I apologize. When did the Secret Service snipers, one of whom ultimately shot the assassin crooks, first see him on that roof?
So, sir, immediately upon the shots being fired, our snipers.
I know that, but when did they first see him? You got a guy lying on a roof.
Yeah.
You got snipers in an elevated position. They can look down on the roof. You got the guy lying there with a gun pointed at the former president of the United States. And I'm just, and they shot him. Good for them. He's now dead as Woodrow Wilson, and that's a good thing. I'm sorry. God forgive me, but it's a good thing. But when did the snipers first see him?
As soon as he presented himself as a target and a threat to the president, sir.
And when was that?
He fires initially a volley. I believe it was 3 shots.
No, he fired at 6:12 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the first shot.
So within 15.5 seconds of the first shot, he's
here's what people are asking.
Yes, sir.
He was up, Crooks was up there. The snipers at some point saw him.
Yes, sir.
Our snipers, because they killed him.
Yes, sir.
When did they first see him? It has been reported repeatedly that the snipers first saw him 20 minutes before. That's more than a quarter in an NFL football game.
Yes, sir.
Do you don't know the answer?
So I do know the answer, sir. I'm telling you that.
What is the answer?
No,
When
they did not see him. They only
never saw him.
No, sir.
Well,
did not.
how could they not see the guy? How could they not see him? They're in an elevated position. They're checking rooftops. They're looking around.
Yes,
There's
sir.
2 government snipers. How could they not see him? There he was, big as Dallas, lying there with a gun pointed at the president. How could they not see him?
I believe he was obscured by that roof, sir. He did not pop up.
The roof is flat with ridges.
He's below the line where they would have seen him, sir. There is he did have concealment. I'm not going to say it's cover. He did have concealment, and then ultimately gets into firing position and fires. And within 15.5 seconds of his first shot, he's neutralized.
I've gone way over. You gentlemen need to answer these questions. Mr. Deputy Director, get me that information about those lawsuits.
All right, there's one. Coming up next, Ted Cruz gets it on the action. Oops.
Mr. Rowe, thank you for being here. I agree with what you said at the outset that the individual Secret Service agents demonstrated remarkable personal courage, putting their bodies in between the line of sight of the shooter and the president. That being said, the bravery of the line agents is quite different from the decisions of Secret Service leadership. Secret Service leadership committed catastrophic security failures. Indeed, the worst security failures for the Secret Service since 1981, since the attempted assassination of President Ronald Reagan. It is incumbent upon this committee to determine why those security failures happened. Just after the shooting, Secret Service put out an official statement from your spokesperson that says there's an untrue assertion that a member of the former president's team requested additional security resources, that those were rebuffed. This is absolutely false. In fact, we added protective resources and technology and capabilities as part of the increased campaign travel tempo. Was this tweet accurate?
With respect to Butler, Pennsylvania, it is accurate, sir.
It is accurate that the Trump team had not asked for additional security and had not been rebuffed.
If you're talking about Butler, Pennsylvania, all assets requested were approved. If you're talking about the media reporting of assets requested, there were times when assets were unavailable and not able to be filled, and those gaps were staffed with
state and local law enforcement tactical assets.
So I'm reading from the Washington Post, July 20th, 2024. Secret Service said to have denied requests for more security at Trump events. The opening paragraph, top officials of the U.S. Secret Service repeatedly denied requests for additional resources and personnel sought by Donald Trump's security detail in the 2 years leading up to his attempted assassination, according to 4 people familiar with the requests. Is that right, that repeatedly the Trump detail asked for more resources and repeatedly Secret Service leadership turned that down?
That is not accurate, Senator. Assets are requested. There's a process that is made. And
how many requests did the Trump team or the Trump detail ask for?
I can get you that number in a queue.
You don't know now.
So I can speak to the ones that reported in the Washington Post, and we can go through them if you like.
But you don't know how many requests there were.
In general, how many requests since 2021 that the former Trump detail has made a request for assets?
You've had 2 weeks. You had a spokesperson put something out that is false on its face. By the way, did you approve this statement when it went out?
I don't know if I did or didn't, Senator.
Has this spokesperson, is he still employed? Does he still have a job?
Employed, Senator.
So he lied on behalf of the Secret Service. He still has a job. Did your predecessor, the former director, did she approve this statement?
Senator, our comms team, they send out statements. They do deconflict them and they put them out.
Did she approve this statement?
I don't know if she did or did not, Senator.
And you don't know if you did either?
I don't recall approving it, Senator.
Will you commit to provide this committee in writing every written request for additional resources from the Trump campaign or the Trump detail and every response from Secret Service?
Senator, I will commit to providing responses and getting you the information that you are seeking.
Let me ask you something. And
I was wondering that too,
to deny those requests? Did you make that decision?
Which requests? Are you talking about the ones that were in the Washington Post?
Yes.
The process, sir, is that a detail will make a request for either staffing, technical assets, that is handled between the field office and the detail. It goes up to a logistics office between our
Okay, so there's a bureaucracy. Is there a decision maker?
It's not a bureaucracy, Senator.
Give me the
it's a
person that's the decision maker. Is there one?
Senator, it's a conversation. It's not just an absolute yay or nay.
So let me tell you what I believe. I believe that the Secret Service leadership made a political decision to deny these requests. And I think the Biden administration has been suffused with partisan politics. Did the same person who denied the request for additional security to President Trump also repeatedly deny the request for security to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose father was murdered by an assassin and whose uncle was murdered by an assassin? Did the same person make that decision?
Senator, what I will tell you is that Secret Service agents are not political.
Okay, you're not answering my question. But you know what? Leadership appointed by the president, leadership appointed by the president is political. I have a simple question, yes or no. Did the same person deny the Trump request that also denied the RFK request? That's a yes or no question.
Senator, that is not a yes or no
Good question.
One,
good question.
There's a process for a candidate nominee to receive protection.
Does the buck stop anywhere? Does the buck stop anywhere?
Bipartisan process that the Hill
It's a bicameral, bipartisan process. What camera?
For a candidate,
you are not a Congress. You don't have a camera.
Mr. Kennedy submitted a request that was referred over to the CPAC.
Okay, you're refusing to answer the question. Let me ask, because the failures on that day were catastrophic. By the way, is it true that on the day of the Butler event that Secret Service transferred agent from President Trump to the First Lady?
No, sir, that's not true.
That's been widely reported.
It's not true. There was one airport agent that actually went on the manpower request for the Trump detail. They handled the arrival at the airport.
What was the relative size of the Trump detail compared to the detail that is assigned to the President or the First Lady?
Senator, the former president travels with a full shift, just like the president.
What's so the exact same size? Is that your testimony that President Trump had the same size detail that President Biden has?
On the day of in Butler, the agents surrounding him, it is the same number of agents surrounding the president today. There is a difference between a sitting president who also not only...
Hold on, you're using president in a way that is not clear. Is it your testimony that in Butler, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump had the same number of agents protecting him that Joe Biden has at a comparable event?
I'm telling you the shift, the close protection shift surrounding. That's
yes
what you asked me, Senator, and I'm trying to answer it.
You are not answering it. Is it the same number of agents or not?
Senator, there is a difference between the sitting president of the United States.
Then what's the difference?
The difference?
2x, 3x, 5x,
National
10x?
Command Authority to launch a nuclear strike.
I'm not asking
assets.
How many more
travel
agents?
with the president that the former president will not get.
Refusing to
but
answer
the number of Secret Service agents protecting him.
Stop interrupting me.
Go ahead,
Senator. You
Senator.
are refusing to answer clear and direct questions. I am asking the relative difference in the number of agents between those assigned to Donald Trump and those assigned to Joe Biden. I'm not asking why you assign more to Joe Biden. I'm asking, is the difference, is it 2x? Is it 3x? Is it 5x? Is it 10x?
Senator, I will get you that number so you can see it with your own eyes.
All right. So, Ted laying it in, laying the hammer down on that one right there. All right, what do we got next here?
We did that. This one should be interesting. Let's see. Let's see. All right, we'll watch it. Here we go. It's only 1 minute. Let's see. Do this.
How many string traders do we have? Make sure they're collectors. I'm gonna convince that.
Keep it down. Hold on. All right. Sorry. I had to work with some background noise there.
Something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019-2020 timeframe. There were over 700 comments posted from this account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature. While the investigative team is still working to verify this account to determine if it did in fact belong to the shooter, we believe it important to share and note it today, particularly given the general absence of other information to date from social media and other sources of information that reflect on the shooter's potential motive and mindset. These are the facts, in part, that the investigation has revealed to date. While the shooter is dead, our work is very much ongoing and urgent.
Okay, so what it says here on the side is it says just released emergency disclosure request. The name's Matthew Crooks, Biden supporter, and supporting social media account after FBI Deputy Director Paul Abbott falsely testifies under oath to Congress. So that's what that's about. So they're saying that the upfront statements about the anti-Semitic, anti-immigration things much different than what's there on Gab. Something from like a much older account. So he could have changed his mind, I guess, if it was both his. I wouldn't go by what he said when he was evidently 14, maybe, compared to what's recent and what clearly shows a pro-Biden stance and pro-open borders opinion. So there you have it. When did this account get created? July 7th. I don't know. No, they were older. They were much older. In fact, if we would go back to the, let's see if I could pull a date off here for you.
Still working to verify.
Okay, yeah, here you go. Check it out. The date on here says February 3rd, 2021. So that's the one where he's talking about immigration and saying that no, it's all good. Thursday we'll take a look at some we just took a look at some new some of the newest immigration or border invasion, southern border invasion footage from the other night. And hard to believe these stats here that he used, that he sourced. But anyways, yeah, that's definitely not the case. There's definitely a lot of sketchy people coming across the border. All right, so let's get that. Oh, let's see. Is there anything else in the in this before I move on to Venezuela and wrap it up? Let's see. Oh, it's Josh Hawley. I got one more for you. Get it over here. All right. Josh Hawley's going to tear it up here for a second. He's right next to Ted Cruz. Let me pull this up. All right. And here you go.
American is dead, that other Americans were critically wounded. Isn't that enough mission failure for you to say that the person who decided that that building should not be in the security perimeter probably ought to be stepped down?
Senator, I think you're using the word decided, and I think we need to allow the investigation play out to include.
So who did make the decision then? If it wasn't the lead site agent, who made the decision not to put that in the security perimeter?
Senator, you're zeroing in on one particular agent. I want to find out exactly what was the entire decision process. So I think I want to be neutral and make sure that we get to the bottom of it and interview everybody in order to determine if there was more than one person who perhaps exercised bad judgment.
Well, sure. My question is, why don't you relieve everybody of duty who made bad judgment? So yeah, you're right. I am zeroing in on somebody. I'm trying to find somebody who's accountable here.
And
you're telling me that the person who made the decision not to include this in the perimeter has not been relieved of duty. What about the person who's in charge of the interoperability of radio frequencies between local law enforcement and Secret Service? Has that person been relieved of duty?
No, Senator, because interoperability is a challenge, is a greater challenge than just one person. On that day, we had a counterpart system. It failed.
As the person who made the decision to send Donald Trump onto stage knowing that you had a security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir, they haven't.
As the person who decided not to pull the former president off of stage when you knew that, in your words, the locals were working a serious security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir. Again, I refer you back to my original answer that we are investigating this through a mission assurance. And as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to investigate to know
exactly what the
more do you
decision-making
need to
process
investigate
was?
to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their
I cannot
jobs.
put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on
the
the scale?
objective? You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the
Is it
Secret
not
Service.
prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days,
Then
just like you
fire
have.
somebody to
And I will
hold them
tell you,
accountable.
Senator, I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people
I can't believe
unfairly
that you
persecuted.
are unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly,
We've got people
sir.
who are
We
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you've got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
I would have started right there. Hold on. Yeah, I would have started with the people who didn't show up to the meeting. Like you missed your meeting. That's a perfect reason to let somebody go. You missed a critical meeting. And that should happen because we had a communication breakdown because no one was there at that meeting. You know, would it have still happened? Maybe, I don't know. But you know, the fact that you weren't at the meeting you were supposed to be at, that's grounds for dismissal.
Senator, I think this is where you and I agree. This was a failure, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Well, I hope you're going to do something about it. Let me ask you something else. The Real Clear Politics reports this morning that you were directly involved in denying additional security resources and personnel, including counter snipers, not just to this event, but over the last 2 years that President Trump's team repeatedly asked for these additional resources, and you personally were involved in denying them. Is that true?
Senator, as I stated earlier, that is not true.
So you never denied any resources to former President Trump's team?
No, not me. No, sir.
And
Not
you
personally.
weren't involved in any of that? You
No,
were never
sir, I
involved
was
in the
not.
decision making?
No, sir, I was not.
Let me ask you just one or two other things here quickly.
The acting
Well,
director.
whistleblowers tell me that, in fact, law enforcement were stationed to be on that roof. and that law enforcement abandoned their post because it was too hot. Is that accurate?
Senator, I have heard that as well. They posted up inside. And I think moving forward, as I said earlier, we're going to ensure that state and local counter snipers are on roofs.
But do you know if someone was supposed to be on the roof? Do you know if someone was in fact? That's what the whistleblower tells me. That may or may not be accurate. Do you know that to be the fact? Was somebody posted to the roof, local law enforcement or whomever?
I do not know that to be a fact.
Well, can I ask you why you don't know that?
Again, Senator, we are looking at this, and they should have been on that roof. And the fact that they were in the building is something that I'm still trying to understand.
I just want to express my frustration.
Real quick, Suzanne, I don't see that link. Did you send it? You're going to send me a link to that video because we're running out of time. And I don't know. I don't know. We don't get that kind of information with what kind of things they've changed or how they've done anything differently. I just know that he has a lot of money and does have private security, so hopefully that that helps protect him better.
Director, that 17 days or whatever it's been, that whistleblowers are telling us more than you are, and you don't know, you haven't ascertained if there was supposed to be law enforcement on the roof. That seems like a pretty basic fact. I'm also told that local law enforcement suppliers offered the Secret Service drones and you declined them. Is that true?
So, Senator, one, I've been very transparent and forthcoming.
Your agency has not been transparent and forthcoming, so please, let's not go there.
I have been forthcoming, sir.
You've been, that remains to be seen. You've been on the job a few days. So far, you've fired nobody. Now, the drones.
Thank you,
Were
sir.
you offered drones?
Senator
So there
Hawley.
was an offer to fly a drone on that day.
And why did you deny it?
I think the ability of local law enforcement to provide an asset, we probably should have taken them up on it if it was offered.
Okay. All right.
American is dead.
So evidently we can't find that. Oh, good night, Wolfram. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for everything. Thanks for hanging with us. Let's see. Yeah, so we haven't been able to find that video you're talking about. So we'll just, if you find it between now and Thursday, we could show it on Thursday. So we'll just do it that way. All right. So that's wrapping it up for the evening. Oh yeah, I had one more thing I wanted to show you, the Venezuela thing. So they talked about, you guys know what's going on in Venezuela right now, right? The commie lost, and so the commie is trying to change the election after the fact and trying to hang on to their power, right? And so they've done a bunch of nefarious things. And let me see. Let me refresh this so I got it right. Same one. Okay, still there. All right, and so this is a message that went out. Let's see, breaking news. In Venezuelan army captains Javier and Juan Carlos, Quintero. Were they brothers or married or something? What the hell? We have the same last name. Just issued a message to the rest of the Venezuelan armed forces to step in and force socialist election thief Nicolas Maduro out of power. All right, let's see what these guys have to say. This should be pretty good. And boom.
Hoy, 30 de julio del 2024, nosotros, capitanes Javier y Juan Carlos Nieto Quintero, miembros de las promociones Batalla de Mosquitero y Batalla de Ospino, nos dirigimos a todo el cuerpo de generales y almirantes, oficiales, suboficiales y tropa de las Fuerzas Armadas Nacionales para persuadirlos a tomar las decisiones correctas en este momento histórico que vive la patria, hoy a punto de entrar en una espiral de violencia y anarquía. Ya hoy el pueblo está en las calles y está siendo reprimido y hay inclusive jóvenes muriendo por manos de la delincuencia. Recuerden ustedes, señores oficiales, que las armas de la República están hechas para defender y no reprimir a nuestro pueblo. Muy aparte de la situación político, partidista e ideológica, debemos tener claro lo siguiente. Uno, que la voluntad del pueblo soberano se manifestó y hay evidencia de ellos. La comunidad internacional lo respalda y debemos hacerla respetar. No hay duda de que tenemos un nuevo presidente y comandante en jefe de las Fuerzas Armadas. 2. Es urgente y necesario que nosotros los militares seamos los llamados a dirimir el conflicto, pues es evidente que en Venezuela en este momento no existen poderes públicos independientes. Para sostener la gobernabilidad, sin duda, hay que tomar medidas constitucionales no convencionales e ir a una junta de transición temporal con una junta de gobierno cívico-militar encabezada por el líder civil que escogió el pueblo soberano. Y 3, nuestro proceder, señores oficiales, tropas y suboficiales, está amparado primeramente en la decisión del pueblo soberano, segundo, en los artículos 333 y 350 de la Constitución, y tercero, en el plan de Dios divino por poner fin a esta dura prueba para los venezolanos. Que Dios bendiga a Venezuela.
Hope you guys followed that. Basically, what they're saying is don't let the commie keep the government, get them out of there, and don't use the people's weapons to suppress them. So it sounds like things are going, it's a rough transition here in Venezuela, but it sounds like things are turning around and going in the right direction for them, and that's great news. I did see some stuff earlier about this. And so maybe we'll just do one more thing so I don't have to come back around. Of course, we could be coming back around to cover this in a minute if it goes anywhere else. Let me hold on. I gotta find this. Let me find this quick report on Venezuela that go with that. Let's see. It's in here. Okay. You got my playlists here. I think it's in here. I was kind of going to cover this. I'll tell you what. I'll add this to Thursday, so we'll circle back on when it's Venezuela. Have some more reports on that. Let's see. All right, that along with Act Blue, along with the fallacies and the different the stories and whatnot, the methodologies of the establishment handling the Kamala situation, what they're coming out with, what they're trying to do, some of their tactics. We're all going to go over that on Thursday, so that'll be like election heavy, as well as some more on Venezuela. So we'll do it that way. All right. Let me get rid of this. Okay, guys. Let me see. Yeah, they're not doing anything. They're like kind of riding motorcycles and they're just waiting for things to normalize. They're waiting for things to normalize. We're gonna go to Joe next, so I'm gonna redirect to Joe. So if you like good logic, that's coming up. We'll go over there after this, and we're gonna be wrapping up here. And as soon as I say my goodbyes and my thank you. So thank you to everybody that came tonight and hung out. Love seeing all the new faces in the crowd. Of course, I always love seeing the ones that have been here for the ride. Thank you to all the mods for everything that you do. Thank you to all the people that are supporting the channel with super chats and memberships. It really means a lot. It really, really does mean a lot. So thank you guys so much for believing in this channel and supporting it and being a part of it, because you guys make it happen. The crowd makes the show happen. And onward and upward, my friends. Base is the place, and that's where we are. And you guys are part of it. If you're here, you're part of the solution. And whether you're on Rumble, X, or YouTube, I will be back tomorrow night, and we're gonna do the deep dive on the Mr. Beast. He's just, you guys know who Mr. Beast is, but he's this guy that's just, had this. Everybody always said, what a great marketer, what a great, this guy took this business and bred it up, and he's giving all this money away. But is that really what's going on? One of his former employees has come out with this this really detailed breakdown of a lot of things about his channel that I thought was interesting, especially considering that it's marketed towards kids. and the recent events with his and I don't know why he kept this guy on, but his little trans friend that that is now wanted or under suspicion of, or is being charged with grooming and well, that's a crime, but it's like he's being called out for grooming. He's being called out for saying inappropriate things to kids. I don't know if there's any charges filed against him. I'm not following it that close, but this guy coming out and talking about, you know, that you know, a lot of things that we think are legit about Mr. Beast are grift. We may be witnessing the downfall of an internet juggernaut, a YouTube juggernaut. I don't know, but I think we should all watch this just to understand how these grifts work on kids and the psychology behind it. That's why I want to show it. It's going to be more of an exercise in just understanding how these things work, so we can come up with solutions for that, and also so we can have better conversations with kids about how not to fall for grifty things and when to point them out and so on. So it'll be interesting. I think you guys will dig it. It'll be a good Wednesday night in between the election and the politics news, just to kind of understand some basic psychology and how this stuff works, and how a channel can grow to be that big, you know, just rocking on that stuff. Anyways, thanks again, everybody. I really do appreciate you being here, and I hope you guys have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Unveiling Reality. And until that time, everyone, keep on winning.
I'm going to leave you with this one final message. We're going to win the election. We're going to win it big. We're going to win it bigger than ever before. We're going to do things that nobody believed. It's going to be more important even than 2016. We are going to make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.